What's going on? It is Brandon for the Ranty with Brandon show. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Let's see, what day is it? Tuesday, November 17th, 2020. And it's cold. Let's see who we got in chat here. That's my news flash for the day. It's cold. See, that's the kind of information you get from this show, you know? We've got Page 42, Ian Adams, Bill G, Brandon Cook, Skeptical Inquisitor, SE Montreal, F Evangelist, Hell and Degenerates, Super Dave 44 with a 99-cent super chat. Thanks, Super Dave. Flat for Life, Enigma, The Plain Truth, Colin Dresser, Matrix Media, Hector Ram, and Ian Adams. Good crowd to start off with tonight. What's going on, guys? Hope everything is going well out there. And I see we've got some people in the Discord already. And I believe Travis had something to share with us tonight. I've got some different links to a couple things, including a debunk I found pretty hilarious that we can check out. And who knows where else it will go. So let's... Oh, yeah. I almost forgot to shill. Oh. Woo! If you do want to support the show, you can do it through Streamlabs. It's a good way of circumventing Google. There's that. And there's some other ways in the information too. But if you really want to support the show, the best way to do it is to bring us an observation, come into the Discord and chat with us, or send us some information, whatever. Let us know what's going on out there. If you found anything interesting, if you found a new proof, if you found whatever, let us know what's going on, and that would be fantastic. We've had some good presentations lately. People that have come in. Pete the Great, I can't remember his new name in Discord, but Pete the Great gave a good one. He's done a couple firsthand observations involving light and perspective. That have been really good. Travis's stuff is always good. Bev's been in a couple times. Great stuff. That's the stuff everyone likes to see. So don't be afraid to do it. But anyway, let's get down to Discord. I'll open this up. We'll see what's going on over there. What's going on, guys?
Hello. What up?
All right, we got the horn today. You on the road, Travis?
I am down for the night.
Oh,
just,
okay.
Just outside of New Jersey in Pennsylvania. I got to drive into Long Island tomorrow, so I thought I would do it 4 a.m. instead of at rush hour.
Ah, Long Island. So where do you stay when you're on the road like that? You just park at one of those truck lots or a big gas station or what?
Right now, yeah, sometimes. But right now, I'm behind a grocery store.
Oh, okay. All right.
Incognito. Don't tell anybody.
Okay. We won't rat you out.
Thanks.
Cool. And then I see we've got Jimbo in. What's going on, Jimbo?
Hello. Freezing my butt off over here. It got cold. Real cold.
That's what I said too. It's cold. So we've now got confirmation of the information I provided that it was cold. That's how I started off the show with that breaking news bulletin. Pretty good stuff, huh? Yeah, but it's really cold up by you, Jimbo.
Yeah,
Yeah, we suck it down from the north, you know. I guess we magnetically attract the cold or something. But we have these winds, we call them like clippers and Chinooks and other stuff, you know. If you've ever been out west and been stuck in a Chinook, it's like 30-40 mile an hour winds and -40 air temperatures.
That's the name of the wind, a Chinook?
Well, I think the Chinooks might be a warm wind. There's a warm wind that comes down over the prairies. There can be 10 feet of snow on the ground, and in the afternoon there's a heat wave that blows down from the north, and you can be playing golf the next day. Like 8 feet of snow in a day.
That used to happen when I grew up in
the Chinook wind, and the other's another name.
I grew up in Denver, and that would happen too. It would snow like 2 feet, and then within a day or two, it would all melt. It'd be like 65 degrees. It was nice.
Yeah, but you don't usually get like where the Arctic air comes from at minus 30, 40, and 50 is where this air is coming from at 80 and 90.
Oh, okay.
It's tropically hot air blowing from north to south along the inside of the Rocky Mountains,
Gotcha.
along the east side of the Rockies. They try to say it's the heat from the Atlantic Pacific there moving west, going up over the mountains, and then, of course, heat rises and then sinks again, coming back down on the other side of the mountains and being, well, pushed south, if you will. But usually heat rises, you know, and cools off. It doesn't have a chance to come back down. It's still hot. But anyway, that's what they claim. They claim it's Pacific air moving over the mountains, 10,000 feet on average, and then coming down the other side over all that snow and cold air, and still being warm enough to melt snow when it travels hundreds of miles along those rock faces on the east side of those mountains, and melt snow in Alberta and Calgary and all the way between Red Deer, just like a heat wave.
All right, there you go, folks. That's more weather information than you ever wanted to know. F. Evangelist, what's up, man?
Hey, Brandon. Yeah, mate, I've just come on to challenge your assertion that it's cold today. It's going to be 35 degrees Celsius where I am, so I don't know what you're talking about, man.
You bastard. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's what, middle of
I don't think you are.
Yeah, you know, you're not sorry.
You're probably right, Travis.
Middle of summer down there, Effie?
Just almost at the beginning of it. Actually, it's we've had a really weird spring. It's been really springy. A lot of wind, a lot of unusually cold days for this time of year, but a few hot days as well. It's been, yeah, really varied. But anyway, today, tomorrow are good. 34 today, 35, 36 tomorrow. Then I think we go back down to about 27 or 28 later in the week. But it's pretty nice. Better than where you are, by the sound of it.
Hey, Effie, weren't you talking about doing some observations a couple months back? You had a nice spot you could look out. Was that you? Okay. Have you been able to take advantage of that?
And you'll be pleased to know I've done absolutely nothing about it, Travis. It's funny. We a few nights ago, it reminded me that I need to. We had an electrical storm here, just to add to what I was saying about how spring has been. And where I am in Adelaide, we had 300,000 lightning strikes that night. And I was driving past that point at about 8 o'clock in the evening, and out over the ocean was just alight with lightning. It was really quite amazing. But it did remind me I need to take some sunset shots.
You say 300,000 strikes?
That's what he said.
Yes, or maybe 30. Maybe it was 30,000. It was a ridiculous number, and it went on for about 14 or 15 hours. Like it was honestly one of the biggest electrical storms. I call it a storm. It wasn't wild weather, but electrically it was that I can ever remember.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. You get pictures of that?
I'll see if I'm driving now, but I'll grab some. There'll be some image somewhere on the internet that I'll find, and I'll just give you a snippet of what we went through. But yeah, nature's quite amazing.
Yep.
According to the weather people, there's never supposed to be a moment there's not lightning discharging to the earth somewhere. It's a 24/7 thing, lightning discharge.
Yeah, definitely, Jimbo. It's happening everywhere. But where we are, we don't normally encounter that level. Like we might get 1 or 2 a year, and the activity might go on for an hour. But this was 15 hours of just literally a God's light show. It was incredible.
Awesome. Travis, I know you're in the process of uploading a video that you wanted to take a look at.
Yeah, it just finished uploading, and now it's telling me that YouTube is processing it. So it should be a couple more minutes. I'll let you know. I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay. All right.
Well, I saw Zuckerberg in front of the Congress again today for all this controlling media data and all that stuff with Twitter and Google and all that stuff, like a cartel of information, and just literally, you know, under every domain, the guy's naming the program task, showing it in operation there, and asking Zuckerberg all about it, and they're, you know, basically conspiracy to, you know, modify politics and censor any group that they deem hate speech or politically not in whatever. They're working real hard, including stuff like going into people's cameras and devices and deleting them. When you give Google permission to do certain things, you also give them permission to delete photos on your SD card.
So you're
You can
telling
say,
me
"Oh,
that
we
they
thought
have
it was
actually
ours."
been going inside people's phones or computer, and
Google has been banned in some European countries for using people's email and their passwords to do traffic and stuff for their Google Maps and stuff, which is illegal. And they do it like they have every right to. So anything that Google can get away with or try to get away with, they will try to get away with it.
sure.
They make more money than the government.
Look at this shit that they give us
The
on Google when
companies
you
are
search for
richer
something.
than our collective interests in paying taxes and maintaining our own world. They have more. There's something wrong.
Oh yeah, there's
And they
something wrong.
wanna
All right.
make
Yeah.
sure
What
that
good is
they
the freedom
keep
of speech
getting
when the
more.
platforms that you have open to speak on are censored by a third party that decides what you can say and what you can't say? What good is that?
Well, they'll go as far as deleting material from off your equipment.
That's fucked
Me,
up.
look, I work as a subcontractor to the U.S. Postal Service. I give them authorization to my emails. They need that to make sure, well, there's no corruption, whatever. I don't care what, and, you know, make sure I'm not invoicing, you know, postmasters wrongfully, whatever. But for me to work for them, to accept a contract or whatever, they have access to all my email. I trust that they'll only, you know, remove their remittance, other, you know, qualified letters that they're supposed to. They're temporary. You don't need to keep them forever. But
Right.
I get permission. I have to, or I don't get the contracts.
And they don't even need the permission, though. Ask Judy
They really
Mikovits. They
don't.
just go right
It's
onto your
a
device and
legal
delete it.
formality. It's like a rite of passage onto your land to cut down a tree. You know, if the hydro or electric company needs to cut down a tree on your property, they can't just go and do it without your permission. Even
Yeah.
if it takes down their wires, they have to ask you and get you to sign a right of way, permission for them to go and do it.
So
Same with your mail.
I
People
see
can have
that.
access to mail. You got to give them permission.
I see Global Virus Foe joined us. What's up, man? I heard
Not a lot.
you've heard of this, them going on people's devices and actually deleting stuff.
Oh yeah, if you watch the Judy Mikovits interview with, I think it's Last American Vagabond, he interviews her, and she had a specific copy of, I think it was that the new one's called Indoctrination, but I can't remember what the first film was, but they deleted the hard copy straight from her drive.
That is insane. And if they do it once and we let them get away with it, like that case, oh, we had to do it because this and that, and they come up with a reason to justify it. You call it a slippery slope argument all you want. They're going to do it again, and they're going to keep doing it.
You cannot sell a computer in North America unless it has these ports called the spider ports open. And the spider ports are there exclusively for government, police, and other access to your hard drive and information. No other reason. And if
I
your
don't doubt that a
computer
bit.
does not and is not manufactured with those spider ports available to the state, you cannot sell it on the market. They have written in and incorporated in their access to your C drives and your machine. End of story.
Right. Yeah, so I guess these guys were testifying. You know, they do this all the time, and then they get what's his name down in Texas. It was today because I caught a couple of the highlights, and it was that senator from Texas that ran against Trump in 2016. What's his name? Anyway, they always have like one person that comes hard at these guys, and then you get headlines from all the right-leaning media in the country saying, oh, they're coming down hard on them, they're going to throw the book at them, and then nothing ever happens. It gets worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
I mean, have they done anything, these people who talk about wanting to stop censorship, have they done a damn thing about it?
Not a single thing I've ever seen.
Me either. So they're either just putting on this act, which we know they are pretty much, for our benefit, or what are they doing? What are they going to do? It's ridiculous. Really pisses me off, actually, because this is the kind of shit. This is all I keep hearing about. Like, I don't know what happened, but a few days ago, the Great Reset came up and the World Economic Forum came up. And that is all I keep hearing about. Is this? It's like everybody's ready to lay down and let the New World Order take over and be in control of everything. Maybe they already are in control of everything, but it's like, why is everybody ready for this?
I think they're just so ready for some return to normalcy of any type that they're just like, give us anything, whatever, we'll take it. I don't care if you own everything, we'll take it.
Life is hard. I don't want to do it anymore. Somebody do it
Exactly.
for me. Even if it means that I don't get anything and my life is horrible, at least I don't have to do anything.
Just give me some comfort back.
That's pathetic, man.
Man, let me tell you, it's
Yep.
like you can be, if you got $10 a day, right? You could live on that, and you would never invest it. You would just buy your food and live. Or you could be smart and start growing, right? That's what they want. They want you, here's your $10, spend it on 5 on food, 2 on fun, 1 on something, and then that's it. And then just repeat it tomorrow. They never want you to do anything. They just want you to just exist meaninglessly.
That's exactly why they start trying to own all the seeds and make the seeds.
Well, didn't we learn yesterday that once they own everything, we're going to be as happy as clams?
Yeah, they're trying to make us happy. Come on.
Yeah, it's working great, right? Suicide rates through the roof, all that stuff.
Feeling excellent.
This guy, though, this is one creepy dude here. I wanted to mention this. I was thinking about this yesterday. These guys like Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, I really don't think they're who they say they are. I don't think this guy controls Facebook. This guy right here.
No, they're actors.
Yeah, you got to have somebody there that the people can yell at, somebody that you can put in Congress and in the booster seat, right? So everybody can make fun of them. That's all these people are there for.
100%.
Yeah. Same with these guys here. I don't think he controls much. Elon Musk, I'm almost 100% positive, is not who they say he is. He's not some fucking mad genius that developed all this shit. There's just no way.
A fucking moron.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't seem like anything special. You hear him talk, stuff he talks about. It's like, okay.
Zuckerberg was interviewed on one show, and when he took off his jacket, the inside lining had a big, the triangle Freemason one-eyed thing there and all that Freemason stuff on the inside of his jacket. I don't know if anyone saw that. I forget who was doing the interview, Good Morning America, or God knows who. But when he took off his damn jacket, the outside was kind of normal, but the inside was like,
I've seen that. And he didn't want to take it off either. He was like a little hesitant to take it off. And then, and then he did. And then, what is that? And bro, it was ridiculous. It was like somebody like stitched in some kind of Masonic flag on the inside of a suit. It was just so out of place on the inside of a jacket. Just ridiculous.
Who was this?
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg?
It was when he first started, I'm pretty sure. I think it was like one of his first interviews, if I recall.
Well, let's see if we can find it. Okay. Whoa, Zuckerberg Illuminati has quite a few returns here.
I can't believe any parents would call their son Elon.
Yeah, here it is, man. Yeah, Elon. Yeah, that's weird too, right? And he just
That's
happens
so
to
weird.
run.
I'd like to see the hospital records to just see whether this Elon Musk exists in, 1975 in the hospital records.
Right.
Yeah, look at the inside of that jacket, dude. Doesn't that's like a flag from the UN just like put into the jacket? Like, how out of place is that? So weird.
What is this thing? This symbol that they've got on here? Oh, let me share because I found it. I think this is what you guys are talking about. And now that you mentioned it, I do remember hearing about this, but I don't remember what it was. You guys see it?
Yeah.
Is this it? What you're talking about? Has to be. He like takes his jacket off and then this symbol is underneath it. Making the world open and connected. Graph, stream, platform.
Bro, look at that. That's like the Georgia Guidestones in the
That's
inside
what I'm
of the
thinking.
jacket. Like the pillars and like that's all Masonic shit when they draw things like in those patterns with that stuff. Who does that? Nobody does that.
Well, here's one. Somebody's put it on another logo. It does happen to have 6 points. That's true. Who knows what these guys are up to? I'm sure they're up to some weird shit, man. But I think these companies, these big companies, are probably either owned by the government, Department of Defense, all that whole conglomerate, or somebody else. And these guys are just the front guys that they trot out to talk to the public and shit. They get a nice life in exchange for being a lifetime actor. That's just one of my pet theories. I have no proof for that whatsoever, but
I don't think
you're right.
as good as it seems. I think they're like, imagine you're like at their beck and call. You have to be here. You have to be here. You got to talk this. You got to talk that. You got to go there. I think it's horrible, to be honest with you. I think most of them, once they get to where they're like shit. I would give all this money away just so somebody wouldn't be able to tell me what to do, and I can just do what I want.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. That would suck. And you're living a lie just your whole life.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck that. Here it's showing the Masonic symbol. Now it is 6-pointed. Why do these people think that it's Masonic? Whatever. Either way, yeah, that's probably some creepy occult shit. Okay. Yeah, so they're doing that, censoring us more and putting on a dog and pony show. The other thing is maybe they're going to revoke that, clause 230. I can't remember what it's a part of, and then say, "Oh, you're a publisher now." And that would, I think, just overnight wipe all of the independent media on those platforms out. So either way, I think we're going to be in big trouble if something doesn't change as far as censorship goes. Here, let me bring something up. Okay, I got a video for us to watch.
I don't know if I was like 12 years old when they made us read 1984, George Orwell. So, the police state or, state control, it's not a new concept, It's not like we just noticed it yesterday and, hey, guys, let's start fighting. I was in school in the 70s and that 1984 was written before that, I think.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when the internet came out, it was one of the great hopes, that we're now going to have free and open communication. We can talk to anybody across the world. Information's going to be shared. No one can control it. And that's how it was for a few years. And then they started clamping down. Well, it's like they had to get widespread adoption of the system. If they would have clamped down right when they had let the internet out and got all these programs out, the adoption levels would have been pretty low. They couldn't get everybody to have a phone in their pocket because people had to get value out of it. And they sucked us in the system, and now they're going to tighten down the system for their own benefit.
Well, in a sense, if you think of it, they've always called it clear as a bell what it is. In the hard drives, it's master and slave. In the ISP world, it's the client server. They're the server, you're the client. So the clamping down. What you've already you're owned by an ISP. Your presence on the web isn't even yours. You have an ISP that gives you your IP address and allows you to connect through their service. You're not really connected to the web. Your ISP is.
Right, but they're not controlling. Like we can still have this show, Jimbo. We can still have.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, they don't control all the flow and the data. You're right about that. They're not in the same way as.
Yeah.
Why is web only used in with like lies? Nobody's like, oh, I got caught in a web of truth, right? It's only a web of lies, and then it's the World Wide Web, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Professor Phil says, that's right. You have no clue, no evidence, can't read historical records, just make it up. What are you seething about tonight, Professor Phil? Just your usual screaming into the void or what? Anyway, this is a video from Jos Lays. Do you guys ever heard of this guy? No? Well, he thinks he's been banned from a lot of different places. Let's see if any of us are on here. Anti-Globe, Chad Preston, Cleary. Evidently Cleary has blocked this guy.
Bro, I just gotta say, they accuse Cleary of blocking everybody, and he's just like, you're not banned.
I mean, he's got a lot of people on here. Under no pressure. Evidently Chemo's blocked him. Oh, no plain truth.
I don't know who he is to block him.
Yeah, I don't see no right to hand there.
No right to hand. No. So he did this little thing on Perspective, and I'll put a link to his video out there in a minute. Oh, and Aaron Armstrong chips in. Brandon, you really ruined Ranty's show. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks for the $2. All right.
He's a good man, Aaron.
I mean, sunshine and rainbows everywhere Aaron goes.
I think he was dropped as a kid. I'm not sure. Like he's just a sorry individual.
Has anyone ever given you money and then said you're doing a horrible job here?
Yeah.
No, that's a new one. That is pretty new.
Give me $5. I'll say you're doing a great job.
Bro, I'll make the show even worse if he'll give me $120.
Oh shit.
Randy, you're doing such a shit job. We all keep coming back every day.
Yeah.
$5. Good show. $10. Wonderful.
Including
show.
the guy who hates you. And
wow, it's the best show I've seen in so long. I just can't believe it. I recommend it to everyone.
This should be this year's halftime show.
Aaron just can't cope. I don't think he can cope with life, to be honest.
It was a quiet couple days when Aaron was banned from the server, the Discord server. It was nice and quiet.
He's everywhere. If I bounce across to Gems at 11 o'clock, like it's 9 o'clock in the morning here. If I bounce onto Gems at 10 o'clock tonight, he'll be on there. He's here for the duration of the show. He's just nowhere except on Flat Earth Discord servers pretty much every waking moment of the day, I think.
Well, Flat Earth is like that little alien that pops out of the guy's chest in the movie, you know? The Flat Earth is like that to Globers. It's that little alien that pops out of the guy's chest there and runs around and wreaks havoc.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we let them. They love their ego, right? Because they have this big model that they got everything all figured out. But unless you have somebody that you can be like, I have this and you don't have it, your ego doesn't mean anything. So that's why they come here, to feed their ego, say that we're stupid so that they can feel smart.
you think that's really what it is? Is that what they get out of it? Because it just doesn't make any sense to me why you would hang out with people you think are stupid constantly.
So
Just
you feel smart, so that you'll feel smart. That's why I truly think that's why they do it for the most part. For almost all of them, they're just feeding their ego. They're just like, oh, these idiots, look how stupid they are. Let me show them how stupid they are and how smart I am.
They want to prove they're smarter than a 5th grader. I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but most Americans are not smarter than a 5th grader.
Yeah, look, I love gas guzzling supercharged V8 cars. I'm not going to go and spend 15 hours of my day on a Toyota Prius Discord server. You know what I mean? Like, I would just want to neck myself after 15 minutes, I reckon.
Yeah, it's like if we're so insane and so detached from reality that we think the Earth is the complete opposite of what it actually is, how are you trying to talk to us civilly?
Exactly.
It
It's
just
like
makes no sense.
disbelieving in Sasquatches and spending 12 hours a day on Sasquatch videos. Oh, I don't believe in Sasquatch, but 12 hours a day I'm on YouTube looking at Sasquatch to what? Debunk them? What are you doing? What are you really saying?
Yeah, and telling the people that believe in it how stupid they are. Oh, you guys are so stupid for believing in the Sasquatch. Like, why would you ever believe in the Sasquatch? And you're just you MC Toon. Bro, I'm like, yo, you do more flat earth videos than I do. Like you you are one of the top flat earthers right now. You're doing daily streams on flat earth.
And the weird thing is, when you think about the reverse of us going to their channel, I mean, the reason I do that personally, I'm not sure about you guys, is just so I can genuinely try to either challenge myself to see if I'm, as able to understand the topic as I think I am, or if I am genuinely trying to help somebody. That's why we go, but that's definitely not the same vice versa, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't want conversation. I tried it. They don't. They're not here to have the conversation. Trust me. I'm there trying to have every angle. They don't want to do it. They just want to tell you you're stupid and you're wrong.
You know, I'll jump into gyms just for half an hour if I'm driving somewhere, just to, poke the bear. But God, imagine just spending hours and hours and hours there. You'd go mad.
yeah,
Definitely makes you angry being in there.
I drop in there too, and I do like to hear the arguments. It's interesting. They come up with some good rebuttals, and they make you think too.
Yeah.
They make
When
you.
it's honest,
It sharpens you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the challenge.
When it's honest, yeah. But when they do the, I answered that yesterday, and you're like, well, if you can type that out, you can't just type the answer again. Maybe I wasn't here yesterday or something.
Yeah, and it's aggravating too, because you hear the what are they called? Just the, not lies, but the falsehoods that you can hear the rhetorical tricks that they're doing. You see the flaws with what they're saying, and it does get irritating after a while. It's like, I just can't listen to any more of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've opened all the doors and I've looked behind all of them. I know exactly. You can ask me anything, I'll tell you what they're going to say and how they'll say it and why they'll say it. Like, it's just they're not thinking. You'll be like, oh, well, they're going to say what the model says they have to say, right? They didn't make this up. They have to say, well, yeah, I know we see something too far, but that's because it's loomed up. They have no options. 2 is 1, 1 is none. They have 0 options on what they can say. It's sad.
Yeah, there's no in between for them. Very few of them. There are some, maybe a handful, if I could even think of that many, ambivalent globers, but most of them are hardcore.
Yeah, that's why I'll always say I was never a glober, right? Like, even with some people be like, oh, I used to be a glober. I'm like, I never was. Like, I never defended this thing. I never went out there. It was just, I don't even think I ever said verbatim, the earth is a ball. I don't think I've ever said that. I thought about space and stuff like that, but I would never consider myself like a glober because I never was like, yep, this is it.
Yeah, I wasn't really either. It always bothered me. And I didn't know all the ins and outs of it. I didn't really know the globe model completely until I started getting into flat Earth and investigating. But intuitively, throughout the years, it just struck me as ridiculous. Without ever really second guessing it. You know what I mean? It was like, how come when a helicopter goes up, the Earth doesn't spin? That doesn't make any sense. What would keep it going? I remember I got sucked into thinking about that for like 2 or 3 days a few years back, trying to figure out why in the hell the Earth wouldn't turn under something when it lifts off the ground.
Yep.
I never thought about that. The only thing that got me was how corrupt governments are. So I always question the space program because I'm like, there's no way, there's just no way that they're trying to help us. And, the whole idea about going to space for me, like for our benefit, it was ridiculous.
Mine was the concept of the whole, if you're in space in a rocket ship, how does it move? I mean, that just doesn't work.
Yeah, I still haven't seen a good demo of that, of a rocket moving in a vacuum. I've seen the little one that they did inside the barbecue and a couple other ones that weren't very impressive. I'm still on the fence about that, whether it would work or not. It doesn't seem like it would work. Propulsion like that in a vacuum. But I haven't seen real evidence either way.
I don't even think in like the pure vacuum, like whatever they're good. I think the flame would just go out. Right. I don't think you could have combustion, even if you had your rocket fuel, right? I think the exposure to that medium would just put out the flame.
Right. We got another super chat from Aaron, $2. He says, echo, 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 echo. I guess he's saying that we're an echo chamber. We argue all the time. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, where was he last night?
I was going to say, you're welcome to come on.
Yeah.
No. We basically, everyone argued amongst each other for like 2 hours.
Yeah, really. It's lucky I stay reserved most of the time because there's just a lot I disagree with, from cooling moon rays to the light discussions to you name it. Earth being a pizza pie, sun going round in circles, all kinds of stuff. I certainly don't agree with, but
we question ourselves. They don't. They'll never question their compadres, right? We will, right? We'll be like, oh, what is that? They don't have that. That's why I think our side is so much more coherent. Because if somebody comes out with some nonsense, somebody's gonna be like, whoa, wait. And on their side, yeah, okay.
Well, and then when that happens, they'll say, oh, flat earthers can't even get along with themselves. They attack each other and eat their own. They will say, no matter what we do, we could shit fucking solid gold, and they would have something to complain about.
It's not a diamond.
Yes, yeah. But Aaron won't come in here tonight because Paige is in here. He only comes in when Paige is around.
Yeah, it's like get Paige in. It's like it's bait on the hook. Then he'll come in.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's move on. He's gotten enough attention out of his $4 there. So this is about perspective, and you guys won't be able to hear it, but there are subtitles on here. I'm going to play it for the audience, just the beginning, and then I'll skip forward to the important parts.
Yeah, you can always add the subtitle option so we can read along.
It's going kind of quick, but did you guys read that? Here, you know what? I'll just skip through it. We don't need the music. So he's saying that flat earthers always ask us, show us the curve. Well, let's do so, he says. On a plane, parallel lines appear to converge in a vanishing point on the horizon. Okay. Then he says, however, on a large sphere, this vanishing point is above the horizon, as in the distance the terrain drops away. So that's
you mean the sphere that you just created with a program? That's not a sphere. What the fuck? He just all he did was drop the horizon. I mean, this is so stupid.
Yeah. Well, it gets better because he's really got some good stuff in here. So Check this out. This is his proof. Now he's going to show like 5 or 6 of these, right? Oh, look. It's not on the horizon.
Oh no.
And he's going to show this one here. Oh, it's up in the sky. Must be a ball.
Wait. Go back to that previous one. All right. So look over to the left. Do you see those dark shadows in the distance?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so like in center screen, I would say those are clouds, like right there at the center. But if you go over to the left, to me that looks like a mountain range.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so you've got to elevate the horizon. Where he's drawn is just this indiscriminate point.
Yeah.
At least.
Let me see if I can go in there, get a little closer. I mean, who's to say that's not on the horizon anyway?
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, but listen. Look past it. There's something of a land strip that's up above. So there's no apparent horizon there at all anyway. What is he he's just drawing a line of convergence on that angle of the observation that he's at.
Yep, exactly. And then he's proclaiming this isn't on the horizon. Therefore, Earth is a sphere. When it very well could be, because you can't see. There's fog, all this other shit.
Yeah. And again, I'm gonna say that it's not the horizon because we don't have an apparent meeting of sky and land. I don't see it.
No, I don't either. Good point.
Next.
So that's that one. Let's go through a couple more. They're pretty much the same, but that's okay. Here's another one. So here the convergence is over here by these mountains. Same story, right? Can't see the horizon.
Yeah, I mean it's just but there's just a lack of resolution there in that blue area. I mean, what the hell is that?
Yep. This might be the same deal too. You can see these mountains receding away. You can't see that far.
Is that the Washington Monument?
It is.
Okay. Well, there's not going to be terribly a lot of mountains there. I mean, Virginia, right there in that area, doesn't have a lot. I would call them hills. I wouldn't call them mountains, but that might offend some Virginians.
Well, there's another thing. What's the elevation here versus over there? Is this a hill? Is this going down in elevation?
Yeah, it's just not clear enough there in the distance.
Yep. So that's what he does. Same thing here. Same story. Not clear enough.
Wait. Go back to that one. Go back to the previous one.
Was it this one or this one?
No, you're going too far up.
Oh, how many of these does he have in here? Here we go.
All right, back off a little bit.
Okay.
So if you look past the skyline where that tallest skyscraper, right below the extension of the vanishing point, you can see the skyline there in the distance. It's not that far away from his point of convergence. It's not that far off. But again, at that point, you've got just a lack of clarity because I would say at that point you've got the medium is kicking in and causing a lack of clarity.
Yep, agreed. Same thing here. Oh, here's an interesting one. I believe these are the Pontchartrain power lines.
Looks like it.
But this is just pure, this is not the geometric horizon that we're seeing here, obviously.
Exactly.
Right, and that's where I'm going to come in and say, what is causing the limit of the water at that point? And I'm going to assert that it's 100% the medium that we're looking at. So if you went out on a different day with different conditions, you would probably be able to see the shoreline or something on the other side.
Yeah, there is a picture of those exact power lines that go straight out instead of curving down like that, depending on the day.
Yep, makes sense. See this one, same thing here. And these are all going to be pretty much the same here. Yeah. Yeah, so this is his proof. This is what he says. Lately, I have seen some more flat earthers too dumb to see the implications of what this video shows, so I've uploaded it again. The vanishing point of parallel lines tells us if we are on a flat plane or on a sphere. I'd like to encourage you to find photos similar to those in the video, flat terrain with features that form parallel lines. Blah, blah, blah. So is this convincing to anybody? Anybody in the chat convinced by this? Think this is a good proof for the ballers? Aaron Armstrong, $5. It's awesome to see my nominal payments can create some chatter. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it. All right, so that was that. No one's obviously convinced by that. It's pretty lousy globe proof, if you ask me.
Yep.
And this one's from Flatzoid. I figured we'd just take a look at this one and get your guys' thoughts. I'll try to make it a little bigger. Okay, I'm still sharing. Cool.
Meter radius around the International Space Station. It's invisible, helps us monitor the arrival and departure of visiting vehicles. And this awesome view over the shoulder of our commander and pilot, Mike Hawkins and Victor Glover, just monitoring the mission. Dragon is flying autonomously.
We are about 300 meters away, closing in on just about 1 meter per second.
So just about 80 meters to go until waypoint 1. Amazing view of the International Space Station. That's from the cameras aboard Crew Dragon. Both getting a good look at each other.
Kind of cool to see them both looking at each other as they approach each other.
Absolutely.
And the crew on board also monitoring on their 3 display panels there in front of them. This is all autonomous, so they really don't have to do much except for enjoy the ride. But they do get to watch on those display panels where they're at during this approach here.
You can also see the International Space Station on that far right and the far left panel. So they're getting really the same view that we are right here. I'm sure they're pretty excited about making it to their new home in space. But once they reach waypoint 1, as we mentioned, they don't have to stop. That'll be that 220-meter point. They'll move inside the keep out sphere at 200 meters, and then the next stop will be waypoint 2. Crew will be 20 meters away from the International Space Station. Dragon will focus on aligning its docking system with the International Docking Adapter based on the attitude of the station. And it'll be about 5 minutes from...
All right. And what do you guys think about that? I think what Flatzoid is essentially saying is you should be able to see Earth out this window. I don't know. Did anybody notice anything in that video?
I mean, yeah, that's what I thought he at first was saying about Earth, but I think at near the end he was saying that the capsule was going. Isn't that supposed to be the capsule going towards the ISS since the astronauts are still in it? And yet it looks like the capsule is drifting away from it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
It does look like it's getting further away. Here it's closer. Further. See what? Oh man. Too bad I can't speed it up. Yeah, who knows what's going on here? Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
So my question was, when he said, "Where is the Earth?" I wasn't sure what he was implying. So, is that left panel? Is the observer or the camera looking from the ISS to the capsule?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, because when he says, "Hang on, where's the Earth?" What does that mean? Why should we? So we see the Earth in the left, right? Obviously. So when he says, "Hang on, where's the Earth?" I don't understand what that means.
Yeah. At first, I thought he was saying, from the capsule's point of view, looking at ISS, why can you not see the Earth like that?
That's what I thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
But that
So I
could
guess
just be a camera
I
angle.
guess okay. So I guess that might be possible because if they're at the same elevation and have the same focal length or aperture or whatever, if that right image, Brandon, can you go back maybe where it says where's the Earth? Hang on, where's the Earth? Yeah, right there, right there. So is the image on the right supposed to be from the capsule?
Right. Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then if that's the case, the reason why there's not the Earth is because it's zoomed in too close. The in my opinion.
You know, that's what they'll say. It has to do with the angle of the way the camera's facing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see a smoking gun here either.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to see if you guys caught something I missed, but
if Flatzoid sees this, have him come on and help us figure it out. We're not trying to debunk Flatzoid.
no.
Yeah, that thing really does kind of look like it's going into the distance instead of getting closer. It's really weird.
That's for sure. Yeah, because that definitely looks further away. You can see how far it moves up.
Is this on the YouTube feed?
Launch America. Let me see if he's got it in the description. SpaceX. No, he doesn't have it in there.
After this, I mean, no matter what they show us now, they can never do away with everything they have already shown us. No matter how good it gets, I will never not need an explanation to for all the bullshit that I've seen up to this point. And so anybody out there listening, blast me off. But I wanted to make a comment when y'all are done with this point. If
Yeah, go
they
ahead.
wanted to, let's just say, they're talking about the whole damn, they're talking about the overpopulation of the fucking world. Okay? Just Google. I mean, I'm surprised Google don't fucking, like, squander the fucking numbers. But there's, there's, what, 18.5 trillion square feet in Alaska. If they were to socially distance us in Alaska, then they could, they could stick 30 trillion of us in Alaska. okay? And we could comfortably live, you know, with in just one state. I mean, granted, it is the biggest state in America, but from them, you know, as far up as they go in space, they could probably barely even see Alaska. And
For
we could all have, you know, we could take the whole population of Earth, the entire
for
population of Earth. Is somebody trying to get a
yeah,
word in?
for 10 years, I lived with my closest neighbor a half a mile away from me.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, they could socially distance 30 fucking trillion of us in one state. I mean, to my count, there's only about 7, 8, you know, somewhere around 7 or 8 billion. But yeah, they could socially. I mean, I'm being facetious, but that's what the math says. So in other words, as high as they go with their satellites, and you know, they go up to the Lagrange point. I wonder if when the Earth was its first speck of dust, was there a Lagrange point out there for that speck of dust? But they go up 22,000 feet to some Lagrange point, and uh, they could probably barely even see Alaska. So you could take the entire population of the world, go up to the Lagrange point, and not even see us. And and there, even if there's you know, even if there is trillions of us. But it's just this overpopulation shit. You know, if anybody out there is listening, if they are monitoring, do the fucking numbers, please. And this Earth, you know, if there is some kind of cataclysm coming, we need as many people as possible. And what we got now ain't gonna fucking cut it. It won't cut
But
it. I mean, I'm
I
not
don't even think there's
preaching a
7. I don't even
cataclysm.
think there's 7 billion. There might not even be a billion people. I don't think they have no idea. They can't count everybody.
Dude, they better hope there's 7 or 8 billion. If there is a cataclysm or some shit, then, dude, what we got now is it'd be a miracle if anybody survived. I mean, dude, like I said, you could stuff the whole population in a little piece. Like, dude, you could fit the world's population in Texas 1,000 times over. This world is not fucking overpopulated. That's fucking crock of shit, dude. Oh man, dude, I wrote down a bunch of numbers. I'm gonna pull up my pages with the as how much oil a person would need, like how much water would Lake Pontchartrain, how many thousands of years it would take for each person using like 1,000 gallons a day to even go through Lake Pontchartrain. Dude, it's a joke. As big as the scale negator that they use, like Travis like to say, shout out the plain truth, the great scale negator. They want to start talking scale. Let's be real. I mean, just do anybody do the numbers yourself, man. It's not hard to do, man. This world is just scattered out with people. Anybody who's took a flight knows that you just go and it's dark, 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 mountains, mountains, dark, dark, and then there's a bright spot, and then you're just nodding off, leaning up against your window, dark, 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 dark. Oop, bright spot. All right, dude, it's populations just here and there, speckled through your travels. You know, unless you travel down a coast, and then you know you're still gonna go through more dark. But anyway, I made my point with a little passion. I'll pass it on.
Yeah, if you just type into Google, everyone in the world can fit in Texas, it does come up with the concept of the whole world population can fit in the state of Texas. Amazing as it may seem, the entire population of the world can be housed in Texas, and very comfortably indeed. Each person living in far in excess of that now available to all but the wealthy.
Yeah, it'd be 2,500 square feet, man. My house is shit. My house right now. I mean, knock on wood. I'm looking to get another one, but is about 1,100, 1,200 square foot. And so shit, dude, I'd have 2 houses. But
Yep,
you know, and
overpopulation to do it.
if you divide the, you know, if you just say an average family of 4, okay, and that's 0 population growth, that's a normal scale, but you have a mother, a father, and a son and a daughter, right? Happy Jane. Then you're pretty much talking about, yeah, you could put us all probably with more than 90% of us have already. You could give us a little piece of land in Texas, the whole entire fucking world, and put us all in Texas, and we'd probably, just about all of us would have more than we currently have. So all y'all, you know, if they are out there with some agendas, all this bullshit, you know, they need to be thinking agenda, survive what the fuck is coming, whatever it might be. I've heard all kinds of theories, but obviously, look, man, let me give my quick thoughts. Okay, if they've been smelting iron, all this shit, you know, and they find Viking remains in Canada, and you know, and they have the Bronze Age, all this stuff. Okay, man, you know, we just all of a sudden didn't just go from horse and carriage to, I mean, anybody can anybody with a brain and a keyboard can type in and find out that, man, there's been past civilizations and there's been cataclysms.
Yeah.
And oh man, I don't even know where to start, man. But I'll just end it with this. Like, they're talking about that coal, fossil fuels. Okay, you know, they done shown that you just take a little capsule that with barely any pressure, fill it with water, stick you a little piece of wood in there, and heat it to, you know, just 130, 140 degrees, not even that hot. And a month later, or few weeks later, you got coal. So it's like, so whatever's happened on this planet ain't happening. It's not happening over millions, billions of years. I ain't saying it ain't been around that long. I'm not making claims. But if I can make a piece of coal in a few weeks, then, and there, I mean, then that's got to get you thinking. Anyway, hopefully I sparked some kind of conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. Yeah, you're on a roll today, man. I heard you over on Jose's earlier today, just giving those guys hell.
Yeah, he asked me, B-Ball's like, so you're saying that, that the cold slows down light. I just came from a website, you know, Mainstream Science, that says, yeah, that they have managed to slow down the speed of light to 10 meters per second. And, you know, however you want to describe that, who gives a shit? Whether it's a fucking photon, who cares? Okay, but if they've got light and whatever mechanism to fucking go slow, and they start they bombard me with questions, and they're asking me, and I'm like, who knows? This is what it means. It means, or B-Ball asked me, you know, what does it mean? So is there a certain temperature it's got to get to slow down? I'm like, no, what that means to me is that the colder it gets, the slower light goes, you know? So they're trying to pin me down on a model, and I'm like, look, here's how the sun doesn't have to be equal in every direction. If it's going through the North Pole, you know? I'm just giving ideas, man, that, you know, maybe the light doesn't go as far through the cold. If they're able to slow light down to 10 meters per second, I'm sure that's an extreme condition, but still, that means the colder that it gets, the more they can slow it down. So what's going on in the north? You know, cold, extreme cold. So that would at least be an explanation, you know. And they trying to pin me down. I couldn't handle it. I had to rage quit.
Yeah, I heard you yelling at those guys. It was pretty funny. Bandsaw Bandit says, Brian, don't you know resources are scarce and we're all doomed for a horrific, miserable death? Sends $5. Thanks, Bandsaw.
I wanted to speak on that. Anybody see Bonanza? You remember the show Bonanza?
Yeah.
Or the Ponderosa, right? You know how big the Ponderosa was, where they lived? Just that family lived on the Ponderosa. That show was like 600,000 hectaacres. It was ridiculously huge. So the whole idea that, why are we shoving ourselves into 2,500 square foot when this damn family on the Ponderosa had half of Louisiana to themselves? You know, like, I think that's how big the earth is. Each person could have Texas to themselves.
You think there's more space out there, right, Dan? Besides what we know?
I firmly believe each person could have a state-size area all to himself.
There ain't a doubt in my mind. There is not a doubt in my mind that, dude, this has been the probably the ongoing thing with recent civilization. It's like, dude, more land. There's more land, you know, and they were probably in England and everything, and they had they probably had maps, you know. It was the edge of the earth. Then you were gonna fall off if you went. You know, whatever it was, you know. There's always been something to try and keep your ass contained, you know.
Well, the container shortchanges resources. Bro, I've grown tomatoes, right? I planted 35 plants. Let me tell you, tomatoes were coming out of my house. There was no, I
Dude,
was
you
given
can't
these
get rid of
away,
them.
bro. So, and this is the thing, like, do you really think this earth can't produce enough stuff? Like, it's just
Yeah,
incapable. Bro, I produced more tomatoes than my block could eat.
that's
You
a
don't
great
think
example, dude. Tomatoes, I could not give away the tomatoes. They're growing faster. They were freaking rotten. And
Bro, yeah,
I couldn't give them.
Yeah, you can take 1 pound out of every 10 you make, and you would still have too many tomatoes. It was just
You take a
planted 8
potato, man. You take
Hey,
a
boys,
potato.
I grew
and it,
250
everything.
tomatoes in 3 months this year in Canada.
Bro, you don't get
250 tomatoes with
everything.
18 plants, bro.
Everything is
they're
like
so
that.
easy to
You
grow.
the
They're
farm,
so easy to
you have
grow
more
that there
shit
are
than you know what to do.
tomatoes. There's a way to look at the tomatoes and they'll keep growing. Like there's a certain trait where you cut them down because they're not going to produce next year. But like there's a percentage of them, like I think it's like 1 in 5 or 1 that will keep producing. And why? Why would you try to keep a tomato plant alive all year when you got a gajillion seeds? And then when they sprout, dude, you can't get rid of them. You can't give them to everybody you know. And they're tough. Besides potatoes, them spores, they look like, these eerie looking spores. And you take one potato, they say to cut it in half. Shit, dude, I cut a potato into like 8 pieces, each individual spore, and they just start growing up, dude. I forgot, left them in buckets and shit back there, dude. They're just growing everywhere. I'm like, dude,
took one piece of tapioca, cut it into quarters, right? It was like 3 feet long. I cut it into like 10-inch sections and rooted all of them and got 4 tapioca plants. It's just, bro, plants and food, the earth produces too much. Why do you think they're throwing away food? They have to. We even you plant one thing or it gets loose and it just starts growing. We have too much food, bro. I watch homeless video. The homeless people are like, yo, I have food coming out my head. Oh, I get food. I have nothing but food. I need other stuff. You know, we have so much food. It's unbelievable. We have so much resources. It's unbelievable. Look at gas.
Where I live,
bro.
And where I live, dude, I have to plant in the shade. Dude, I'm in North Florida, so I'm at like 30. I'm at like 29, 30 degrees. It's like, dude, if I plant directly in the sun, I've got to like water way too much. I've got to find shade spots to plant because I mean it'll grow, but I mean it's so much sun, dude. It's like you could grow anything. I don't tropical, pineapples, you grow anything, but for normal things you got to find spots that get partial shade. And I'm not on the I'm above the Tropic of Cancer, and I'm in a spot where, man, I'm getting more sun than I even need. And man, yeah, what he's saying is true. Like strawberries, they get running strawberries. You just forget about them and quit. You pick some strawberries. The next thing you know, you go over that side of the house and it's like, dude, they've just took over. I was
just gonna say that, bro.
Weeds.
I had some berries on the corner of my garden. And bro, even after the winter, they just keep coming back and they grow more and more. It's like amazing.
Yeah, strawberries are.
Yeah, and they go away.
Like tendrils that like root, and one strawberry will just keep growing laterally, and just growing.
And you think they're dead, right? You think they're dead and they're gone, and next spring
they'll take over your whole garden,
like,
bro.
Where
You'll have
even
no
come
tomatoes
from?
left if you don't take care of them.
And we haven't even talked about fruit trees, right? We haven't even talked about fruit trees. Because the trees mark the establishment. We're talking about plants. We haven't even spoken of trees. A tree feeds a family. You know what I'm saying? And
I got 10
it's just
trees. 10 fruit trees on 1/4 acre. It's only on like a third. I only have it on one little section. I've got 2 peach trees, 5 lemon trees, fig trees. Like it's crazy, bro. It's just you can't unless you have like a garden and stuff. If you've ever gardened and done stuff, you'll be like, there's no way we're running out of food. There's just no, bro. I drive in Florida. I drive acres. I'll drive past acres upon acres of cabbage, kale, cauliflower. It's just, you can't even see the end of the farm. It's just a massive amount of food.
Oh yeah, yeah. Same thing. Yeah, with the orange groves driving through Central and South Florida, it's like, dude, it's just like miles and rows of orange trees. But I mean, instead of going on live camera or whatever, just take my word for it. I'm looking at the orange tree in my front yard, and there's probably 200 oranges, that are pretty close to ripe. There's a small tree behind it, and then a little navel orange tree in the backyard. I got a peach tree, a pear tree, a old pear tree I just cut down. I got an avocado tree that the avocados they're so healthy, man. They just, dude, it's amazing the tree even holds itself up. There's so many avocados on this tree. And
Yeah. Hey, Brian.
yeah.
Let me back you up, bro, on your light thing. I heard you today on Jose's. I wanted to jump in, but I couldn't. And by the way, I enjoyed the way you handled the Master Khalif, Master Helmet Head. That was fun, bro.
Yeah, dude, he just blurts, he just says anything, dude. It's like I asked him, he was talking about something one day about square. I was like, dude, what's 81 squared? You're talking about squared or math? He's like, I don't know, but I don't need to know math. Yeah, but yeah, I was sticking up. I was like, he joined the show by saying
You're roboting,
that you
Brian.
are so, like ignorant or something, dude. Sorry. This guy joins the show calling Montreal ignorant because Phil didn't know about the super deep borehole, but Montreal's ignorant. Yeah, Brandon, you were spot on talking about the ridicule, the way they ridicule, and that's a powerful argument. Because I was listening, I was like, he's right, man. That's like all they got is ridicule, but and censorship. If this shit's such a, I mean, I heard it a million times, but what's the danger? If the Earth is flat, round, why the debate? Why are they squashing the debate, dude?
That's their thing, bro. It slides off me like a duck, no problem. But the thing you were saying about light, bro.
Remember the ridicule line when I talk about light and acceleration. Just remember that.
He's gonna start with acceleration. Brian,
go ahead, bro.
The thing you were saying with the light, bro. I don't know why they were dogging you because if I remember correctly, they did a thing and they said, yeah, light slows down when it goes through water or certain things. And they even gave an explanation. Well, it doesn't actually slow down. What happens is it bounces around in the particles. It's actually going the same speed, but it takes time to reach the other side. So yeah, you're right, Brian.
Well, I found an article about that too, and here it says a team of Scottish scientists has made light travel slower than the speed of light. So,
what did it say, Brandon? What did it say, buddy?
If you can see my screen right here, you're talking about light traveling slower than the speed of light, right? Here's one.
I heard it from them. This wasn't some shit I made up. This is what I heard from them, right?
Yeah, there's all different kinds of articles about this.
There you go.
They laugh, but
read them and weep. Don't laugh at Brian.
You're roboting again.
And you lied and everything, and then I happened to.
Whoa.
Can I add something?
Oh, Paige, the mic's real bad.
Oh, is it? Okay, hold on, I've got to get my other one.
Okay. All right, Aaron, safe to join now. We had a couple people join us while we're waiting for Paige to get her mic. We had, obviously, you guys heard SE Montreal, Brian Linky, if you were wondering who the Brian was. And Paige is joining too.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah, that's better. Yep. It's not great, but it'll do. Oh, maybe not.
Okay, how about we try no headphones? I was watching.
Oh no, Paige, it's no good. It's no good.
Okay, no way.
Sorry.
How about mine? Is mine all mucked up still?
No, yours sounds good now.
All right, but what I seen, on it was like not the King of Random, but one of them main, and he asked me, they start asking me about the sun. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to stick up for a model. What I'm just telling you is that because he wanted a model. Wait, let me go back to this first. Is I had to apologize to Jose because I said, yeah, everybody's laughing, but this is shit I seen on mainstream science, laughy boys, and I was being, just defending myself and all that. And, but then Jose pointed out, he's like, Brian, you lied and everything. And I was like, no, you calling me a liar and everything. But he pointed out, and he's like, I didn't laugh. And what you call it, he pointed out another person or a couple of people who wasn't laughing, and I was like trying to apologize because I'm like, man, I don't have no problem with humbling myself. I stick up for what I stand for, and I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, conceding the arguments, and humbling myself if I called somebody out for no reason. So before I could even finish apologizing, man, I'm getting cut off and all that. But I still enjoy it. I don't care. I got thick skin too, man. I think Jose does too, man. He'll let me talk, man. He'll keep me in a little bit of control, but he lets me say what I have to say, man. And them type of channels they're dying. This is one of them. They're dying, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brandon, that thing you had up on the screen was very interesting.
Oh, yeah. Let me reshare that with you guys. I stopped sharing it because we were dropping frames, but maybe it'll be all right now. Let me see here.
Shout out to you, Brian, man. Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah, I joined because, like he said, but it's just, you hear
Read
things
the
if you
screen,
get a
Brian.
chance to join.
Read the screen, bro. Read the screen.
Yep.
Exactly what I just said before.
Yeah, it says
So you were spot on, brother.
when light travels through a medium other than vacuum, it'll be slowed down. I don't know why they thought that was a contentious thing that I didn't understand.
Yeah, I was just trying to explain to them,
they
like,
know stuff. They just go on automatic, what you were saying, Brandon, before. They just go on automatic ridicule.
yeah, I know, man, and I'm good at countering that, because what they're trying to say is like if you take and you do a perimeter around the sun, it should go a little further past the North Pole. Like, yeah, it works out fine shining one way, but toward the North Pole, maybe it should go a little further. Well, there's your reasonable explanation, right? It's cold up there, and from what I've heard, that light, doesn't go as fast or as far, whatever the hell you want to call it, in the cold. So there's at least a reasonable explanation. I'm not claiming to know 100%, and there's so many problems. It's but it's hard when you're trying to
Brian,
defend a model.
Their
Yep.
light that they claim they know travels only in one fantasy medium. A place where we can never go. Guess where that is, bro? I'm sure you know.
The vacuum, the great vacuum.
Ding, ding.
La La Land, baby.
Yes, baby, La La Land.
Any okay, I changed to the iPad. Right, I was watching Brian Mullen last night. He was talking about the thermosphere and the ISS, and how it's supposed to be really hot up there, but nothing heats up because there's not enough particles or whatever. And then straight after that, I saw that demonstration of the frozen quantum locking little UFO thing that the guy spins around on that magnet. He's got like a see-through table and it's got magnets all around the outside, and he freezes that little disc and then he puts it, and it levitates above the magnets, and he can spin it round and round.
Yep.
And it got me thinking, what if the sun isn't what's hot? Like, they were showing how neon fluoresces, like the sun seems to fluoresce all these gases that are up in the high atmosphere, and that's how we get our dusk and dawn colors and stuff. So some of our UV radiation and heat and all that comes from the sun setting off these gases. So what if the sun itself isn't actually hot? What if it's frozen?
I like you thinking all that, and I like the idea of the gases up there and all that. But I live in Florida, and we call it Big Red, and Big Red's a bitch. I'm telling you right now, from where I live, Big Red is a fucking magnifying glass. It's a focal point.
I'm not saying you don't get heat. What I'm saying is maybe it's the reaction that the sun is having that causes the heat, not actually the sun itself.
Yeah, Dan,
being
like
hot.
like the way Dan Dimensions describes it, kind of similar to what you're saying. And Yeah, it sounds good and all that,
Is
man.
Dan Dimension the one that does the neon, that shows you
Yep.
all the different? Yeah, that's the one I must have been watching. And it just because I saw those
that's awesome.
3 things in a row, I just started thinking. And then when you mentioned about the light going slower when it's cold, I'm thinking, okay, well, yeah, maybe it is actually opposite to what they've told us. You know, the sun
The more I
itself
learn, though,
isn't actually hot; it's frozen.
we may never know though, Paige. The more I learn, it's
No,
like
yeah.
like I'm like back on board with Oakley and everything talking about the gases, because I was thinking, you know, that hydrogen should go up, helium should go up and all that. But then you watch a Peter and Pete video and they take one of them oxygen generators, and anybody could make one, maybe not as good as they sell commercial, but you could separate the oxygen. But then they take the exhaust, which is supposed to be like 71% nitrogen, right? And they collect it,
and it's not,
and it's the same shit as the oxygen. It's like, hold on, if the atmosphere is 21% oxygen, you know, and then it's supposed to be exhausting nitrogen, okay, according to what we were taught. But they collect it, and it doesn't even extinguish a flame. And it's like, you know, you could probably do more and more experiments, but and that leads me back to the right the hand. Like, all this shit is just effects. It's effects that we observe.
Yep.
And that's why,
they
you
give
know,
a different explanation for.
yeah, you get explanations and all that, but man, are they really proving all this stuff? And Peter and Pete get a lot of ridicule and shit, but they're calling it like it is. And I like pondering things, watching Dan Dimension, because with the sun, with the light up there and everything, it's like excited gases and all that. It makes perfect sense, and the colors match up perfectly.
Yeah, don't they? They match absolutely perfect.
That makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, though, Paige, that maybe the sun is not like a hot fireball or even hot at all, that it's just a reaction with whatever.
Just a reaction, yeah.
It's hotter than fucking summer here,
from,
excuse my language.
Where I come from when I think about these things is to try and think about something as completely opposite to what I've been told. And then I usually find I come closer to what I see in reality if I think about things, you know, opposite to the way I've been taught to think about them. So that's what I'm trying to do with the sun, is just...
But where I come from, dude, my solar panels, when the sun starts peeking over the horizon, I don't get like hardly no volts. I'm trying to charge my batteries, and it's like, damn, there's a sun. It's daylight, dude, but it's not quite came over the trees, and my batteries ain't charging. And then the sun hits over the trees, and then within an hour, I'm beaming ass hot, and my shit's maxing out. My batteries are maxing out at like 14.1 volts. And the sun is definitely, I've thought the same way as you, Paige. Maybe you're right. I always keep open mind, but the sun, that particular spot where the sun is some kind of focal point of energy, because it reflects in and heating me up, making me feel like I'm about to die in the summer. Also, it gives me volts on my solar panels, and it doesn't do that in the daylight with the sun not hitting them. But who knows?
Some would say it's the focal point of the motion, right? You know, because energy is what's that, right? You know.
Well, what's his name?
Everything.
Good.
Sorry, I was just going to say, everything we perceive is electrical signals. Nothing, when you really dig down, nothing is actually real. Everything happens inside your head. Everything. So, you know, I'm just trying to think of a way that, you know, is it the angle that the sun's at? You know, is it what it's reacting with? You know, just because the sun can send something to your solar panels that charges it, doesn't necessarily mean the sun itself.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean, yeah, I do. It doesn't necessarily mean everything, because there are panels that.
And I know I'm going to
like,
get so much shit for this, but
no, maybe not, man. Maybe not.
Well, you
because
make sense, Paige. I think it's vibrational energy, whatever it is.
Well, I still say,
Yes,
you know,
frequency.
light needs to be generated. It's generated locally. It takes energy and matter to create light. It takes sustained energy and sustained matter in combination to sustain light. Prove me wrong.
Energy, what is that? Like, what does it mean?
There you go.
Hold on,
Okay, well, I don't fucking know. All I know, it takes
Okay.
energy and matter to create light. Work from
Okay.
there, asshole.
Okay, so then I'll clean it up for everybody. You need matter and motion. Okay, so now energy is just some bullshit term that nobody can tell you what the fuck it means. Now, if you take something and you start moving it back and forth in a medium, it will create friction, right? And then it will get hot and
Yes, we
glow.
call that a
So I'm
rocker
explaining.
motion.
Hold on.
Electronic.
Oh, hold on, bro. You gave us nothing but energy. Okay, I'm actually doing something. So when you can, if you can, in your head, you can see that something moving back and forth at an incredible, unheard of pace would create friction and make it glow. Now you can say it needs energy. That gives us no help. No help. Just so you know.
Just so you know, that back and forth action is called a rocker action. And most circuits are rocker circuits. Thank you.
I'd like to butt in. I'd like to butt in there. And I still don't buy that it's particles, but it is motion. I don't know. To me, it would have to be motion. I don't know, man. I can't. I'm not going to claim that 100%.
I never said particle. I never said particle. All I said is it takes, well, whatever, motion, energy, and matter.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with y'all both, man. I'm like right in the middle of y'all, man. I like God. I'm like trying to. I really do. Not even trying to play median. I really
Think of it like this: can you create light without motion?
No, you'd
Can
have to
light be
strike a
created
match
without motion?
or a battery or some type of source of, well, rocker motion or flow of electrons and magnetism.
That's a point I wanted to bring up with the batteries. With batteries, like here in Florida, there's a 1 through 49 lottery, and you pick 7 numbers, and the odds are 1 in 13 million. So, and you can only pick one number one time. So that's why you have all these battery departments at all these universities, because there is an endless amount of things you could do to make batteries just by putting two substances together. Whatever they originate, like you could take and extract manganese sulfate and get a decent electrode, but then you add all of a sudden, boom, you add sodium hydroxide, which is lye, whatever you want to call it, ash from a fire, whatever the hell you want to call it, and you add that, and all of a sudden you get what they call manganese dioxide, and bam, you just like tripled your battery capacity just from adding one little thing. And there are way more than 7 substances on Earth.
Yeah.
Not to mention the man-made substances. So there's an endless amount of.
If you take a sheet of aluminum and a sheet of copper, put them together, and put electrodes between the 2 layers, and expose one side to warmth and one side to cold, electricity flows.
Right there, and think of how many different ways there is to even do that. You're talking about the piezo or the
each other
not
on
the
an
piezo.
interface and different temperatures on either side of them. You got current.
Yeah, the
flow.
thermoelectric
The
effect.
sun's electric.
The sun has got to be electric. I mean, think about it. Can you make any type of fire even through fission and grow
something?
Yeah, it's got to be electric. I mean, think about it. Look at the stars.
Ryan, Ryan, you always say that, man. You always say that. Can you grow things with?
Dude, it's obvious. It's reality. It's just one of them sticking points that they can't get around, and that's the ones I like to repeat.
Can you grow tomatoes with firelight?
So look, whatever a LED is, whatever a light,
No, it has to be the UV.
That's right.
And we get
certain
that
type,
UV from some of these gases that are fluorescing when the sun comes close to them. So it has got
That's
to
why I
be
tell
an
them, man.
electrical connection.
The only thing they tried to say they know what the sun is, the only thing we do know for a fact is that the sun is not hydrogen gas or helium gas, because the hydrogen or helium gas or all the gases combined for that matter cannot emit continuous spectrum from gamma all the way to infrared. It can't happen.
Here's the problem with people's notions of gases and that hydrogen and helium separate from your normal air mix. The example here I'm going to give is ammonia. Ammonia is normally a gas, right? But If you take a liter of water, you can dissolve 17,000 volumes of ammonia gas into the water, and it doesn't change volume, but yet it becomes saturated with ammonia. Same with the air. The air absorbs stuff like helium, hydrogen, and just like the stuff in the water, the ammonia in water, it doesn't necessarily change its volumes, and it's totally miscible.
And let me back that up too. They say like, hey, how do you feel about water being like? How certain are you that water is H2O? How do you feel about that? Have you even thought about that?
I don't care. You know, in the lab,
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. But that's another story for a whole show. But basically,
but it does it. Yeah, it is. You're right. But here's the thing, because when I do my electrolysis and everything, I mean, just the quick story. Do you do the electrolysis and you're supposed to get double the amount of hydrogen on your cathode as you are on your anode. You're supposed to get 1 part oxygen and all that. But it all depends on what the hell alkaline, or I'm sorry, what catalyst you have, because if you have table salt, then you produce a saline gas, chlorine gas. And no matter what freaking anode cathode you got. But here's the main thing. Damn, dude. Here's the main thing.
Here's the problem you face. You want to know what it is with cathode and anode electrolysis? Do you have a DC generator plugged into an AC wall? Filtered DC?
Nah, that's not what I typically use, but I do have a bunch of them, yeah.
Are you using a car battery, steady DC?
Yeah, I use a lawn, a couple car batteries and a lawn battery. But no, I do have DC generators plugged in AC walls. Where are you going with that? I want to hear it.
Well, one of the problems is there's no such thing as a pure DC current, especially from an AC inverter or AC rectifiers. It's
I believe that.
close, but it's an alternating DC. No matter what, you cannot purify from an AC current a DC current pure. They're all.
Is there a consistent? Is it consistent enough for induction? I mean.
Well, it has to be like dampered and taken care of in all electronic circuits, the alternating DC, because you want.
Boy, here's my point, though, man. Here's my point. My point was, though, so because you might be interested in this, is that I figured out that by mixing, because I do concrete, so I mess with muriatic acid all the time, hydrochloric acid, whatever they call it, and aluminum or zinc. I was trying to figure out the difference between aluminum and zinc, because they're so identical, and it melted them both, and then I collected the gas and it floated the balloon. Then I looked it up, and it supposedly makes straight hydrogen. So some of these things, I got anodes and cathodes. It's supposed to be the water making this gas that's lighter than air. I just poured, and then I find out that that you could just stick aluminum in just regular tap water, and you're going to get hydrogen. It's slower, but why wouldn't we think it's the aluminum and the metals breaking down, making the hydrogen, when we can actually demonstrate? But that would lead me to thinking that the water is like air is like almost just thinned out water, man. Or water is thick ass air. I mean, it leads you down a road, right? Of crude, but experiment, in my eyes, experiment, kind of crude nonetheless. These experiments kind of point you in a direction, man.
Hey, I have a comment pertaining to this water CO2 thing. I heard you guys talk about it last time. Don't nuclear submarines take seawater and extract oxygen out of it?
Yes, and they also
my feet on this. It's been a while since I read up on it.
They also have American naval ships that run off electricity they generate from the seawater. I don't know how they do it. They have special cells.
The same way Stan Myers drove across country with 6 tanks of water. He died saying that them Belgian oil investors, they tried to buy his patent. He went through a bunch of patents, and he had that dune buggy, and he had a device that he was trying to patent the final thing, but he pretty much retrofitted to plug into any spark plug where instead of putting gas in your tank, you put water. And I'm like, dude, I've got my generator, my electric generator, that normally runs on gas. I've got it running for a few seconds, on HHO gas straight up out of a pickle jar. And I'm like, dude, I got duct tape and a pickle jar. I'm almost done.
If you have a heat source and you can introduce water into it and get about 3 liters a minute to 4 liters a minute of gas, which is HHO or whatever you want to call it, you know, if you drop water into a red hot tube, it comes out HHO. It'll detonate in a car piston or whatever. If you have
Right,
a
but there's so much Jimbo.
Water in it, you have gas.
Jimbo, I promise you, there's so much more to it than they're telling us. Because what I'm saying is that if me, just a regular worker, dad, granddad, just curious guy, can take a fucking pickle jar and duct tape and spackle and get a generator running for however many seconds, it don't matter. If I can do that in my garage with a pickle jar, then they can do it 1,000 million times better, and then that leads to frequency. There's got to be a certain frequency, no matter what the books are telling us, bro. That's where I encourage you to think outside the box, because I know you're a very intelligent guy, dude. And but think outside the box,
the energy,
even outside the box of the.
There's no question, and it's all based on antenna ground systems. Once you realize that, you know that you can harness power from almost anywhere and anything. Any amount of space and the right materials, you will get electricity and be able to do what you want with it.
Hey, can I before I shut up, y'all? Before I shut up, let me ask Jimbo one personal question. Jimbo, have you ever experimented with like different types of batteries, crystal type batteries?
Yep. But I usually watch shit that I see that claim to be like eternal power and stuff and free energy. And most
you got the voice of a guy who is
and garbage. 99% of them. There's a few real phenomena in overpower and everything, over unity.
Yeah.
No question, it's very real. And there are people who have been murdered because they figured out stuff and how to harness energy anywhere in vast amounts.
Jimbo, I'm not trying to expose you or nothing, bro. And you could take this as a compliment, but you got the same voice as one of the fathers of this shit. One seen a while back on a thing that I can't even find now, but you got the same voice as somebody who is one of the forefathers in this shit, dude. And if you are who I think you are, bro, then I got nothing but respect for you.
You think Jimbo's got a secret identity, Brian?
I think he does, man. Dude, everybody's heard him talk, but I think he knows even more than he's telling us. And I think if we listen and we're patient, I think, he might not have it all figured out and shit, but I think he knows a lot more than we've heard. Way fucking more than we've heard. And another thing, is I would even encourage you, Jimbo, though, is always go by what you've seen and even being outside the box, even try and think even outside of that fucking box. But if he's who I think he is, man, then he's got all my respect.
Yeah, well, if things aren't practical for me, if I can't put a phenomena to a use, through devices made to harness it, I mean, all the theory in the world won't give you something practical. We need stuff we can use, not dream about, So in real world, it's pure and applied physics. It's pure and applied chemistry. It's pure and applied sciences. If there's nothing comes out of it, like space speculation and the Higgs boson and mesons, muons, heavy leptons, I'm not interested in none of that garbage.
Yeah, but when we say electricity, that's just like gluon. Nobody knows what electricity is. When you say energy, it's the exact same thing. Now, if hold on, I'm not done, bro. I wasn't done.
We can take our little batteries.
Jimbo, I wasn't done. Jimbo, I wasn't done. Okay, good. So what I'm saying is, you're going to be like, oh, well, energy does this, energy. When we actually think about replacing the word energy with motion, now every time you use energy, it's to move something. Okay, you there's no take of energy without motion. So we can just replace it. Now, if you can consider that motion is energy, and all you have to do is transfer the motion, right? You understand how they can do what they're doing with energy, because they have a great deal of
I can
motion. And
see
hold
what
on,
you're
let's go
saying.
with the Jimbo. I was
understand.
almost there.
Hold on. Let me tell you. Hold on. Whoa.
Jimbo, I was almost done. Jimbo, come on, Jimbo.
Guys,
Jimbo, don't
guys,
say
guys.
Jimbo.
Can't hear either of you.
Jimbo, how are you bro, Brian Leakey, you're gonna respect a guy that can't even shut up and let me get my fucking thought out. So I'm trying to say, if they can take amount of motion,
It's
right?
a
You're gonna
one-way
say,
conversation.
bro, Jimbo, please let me, Jimbo, please let me finish. Jimbo,
Guys, we were having a good conversation.
But and this is what happens to Jimbo. He says that he wants to have a discussion, but the moment because I'm the only one that disagrees with anybody, the moment I see, he just gets triggered and has to interrupt me.
All right, go ahead,
So
right
good,
hand.
Jimbo. Congratulations. Your idea, no, Jimbo, your idea won because you
just get to the damn fucking point, bro.
Go suck fucking Jimbo's cock. None of you want to have a conversation. You just want to spew your bullshit.
Dude, shut the fuck up. Now, where's the contention, dude? I'm just joking around, dude. I think everybody else is in a good mood, dude. Just get to the point. We're listening. Jimbo, let him get to the damn fucking point.
The point is they're not creating energy and sending it through a wire. They're transferring the motion that they're creating in one spot and then moving it to another to transfer it to something. So every time somebody says energy, and then they're like, well, I don't deal in concepts. I don't deal in bosons. But then they'll say energy, which is a boson. It's a concept. It has nothing in reality.
Rename it, bro. So rename it, and I'll go along with it, bro, because I agree with you. Just
energy is motion. Nobody's on board. They just say energy. They just keep saying energy. And when you ask them what energy is, they'll say, I don't
you've
know.
got a good point. You've got a good point, Chris.
I agree.
It is
Energy is
motion that
motion
they
in
move.
many instances. So what?
They haven't created anything.
All right, my check. What's going on, guys?
Hey, Matrix.
We should
What's up,
discuss
Matrix?
Plato and Socrates, because all these people have done everything we're talking about.
Matrix.
People have done it, bro. They've had these conversations. They have established all these things, man, and it's like we're doing it again.
But there's nothing wrong with having the
Yeah,
conversation.
because they
right to hand.
took it all away from us.
I mean, I personally think it's good to conceptualize these things, because how else are you going to think outside the box?
Well, the problem is when people aren't willing to have the conversation, because the conversation will inevitably make them go against something they hold very true and dear.
It seems like with this topic, with Flat Earth, if you push any conversation about any little thing, it will get weird very quick.
Well, it seems like, too, when you hear the word energy, you get triggered, and you have to come in with all this motion stuff. And I don't disagree with you. Energy and motion are joined at the hip.
Well,
but what the
they're
fuck?
not. Energy's a concept. A concept
They're
can't be
not
joined
then. Whatever you say then.
Right the hand. All of it is a concept. All of it is somebody's concept. All of it is somebody's best attempt at explaining reality to the rest of the people. Why you are so hung up on these things?
Because I'll explain. So when you say energy, I can show you a rock. You'll never show me energy. But I can show you the rock move, hit another object, and then have that object move. So I can show you empirically the object and motion. Okay, now you can say, well, that's just the object moving. You know what? I've showed you two distinct things: the object stationary and then the object motion. I've shown you the motion, but then you'll just revert back to energy, which I can't see, and then start these fucking bullshit conversations and be like, well, speculation is nice. Why are we speculating when we have the answer in our hands? It's motion. It's all motion. Now,
are you saying speculation because we can't see it? Is that why you're using the word speculation?
Can you see energy?
Can you see thoughts? Can you see thoughts?
See motion. I can see motion.
Right. Hey, give it a new name, bro. I'll use it, bro. I'll give it a new name, and I will use it.
Guys, give me a second. Right hand. Can you see thoughts? Can you see
the rock? We're not talking about thoughts. We're talking about motion.
Move the rock.
Jimbo, there's something wrong with your mic. You're not coming through.
I think you have a very strong stance on this thing that we can't see, and Flat Earth is very much about things that we can't perceive.
No, flat Earth is all about what we can perceive. We perceive the Earth as flat. We perceive the rock moving. We don't perceive energy. We don't perceive Earth as a ball. What
Yes,
are
we
you
do.
talking about? You're completely opposite, SE. This is what the truth does to people who have beliefs. It makes them contradict themselves. It's crazy.
Everything is a belief. Right the hand.
No, a rock is not a
Understand,
belief. A
everything
rock
is
is
a
not a
belief.
belief. An object is not a belief, SE. Do you understand that?
Do you believe rocks exist?
Matrix. It's Matrix media, bro. Matrix
Okay, but
media.
here, this is a rock a belief? Is a physical object? Forget a rock. Just is a physical object a belief?
Do you believe a rock exists?
Okay, so you can't. We're not going to address what I'm saying. Okay, that's
Well,
fine.
you're an idiot. I mean, do you know the formula for what the energy involved in
Rumpus,
motion?
Oh, Rumpus, come on, man. You got something to add, or are you just going to come in here? First
Well,
thing.
I have. I've got a question. I've got a question.
Guys, his agent called him.
Then no insults, Rumpus. We can F off.
All right, guys.
I've got a
Let's hear his question. Let's hear Rumpus's question. We'll give him a chance here. Go ahead, Rumpus.
Right, the hand. Could you please tell me the formula for the energy involved in motion, please?
Yeah. Okay. A formula is not reality. So now you've left reality and went to a
Right, so
formula.
you're a moron. You've no idea what you're talking
There you
about.
go. I'm a moron. So
Hey,
can
are you
a
talking about
moron.
the
You
instantaneous
just talk about energy.
motion
You
or
talk
the
about
gradual
motion, and you have no
velocity?
idea.
Hey,
Oh,
whoa,
shut
whoa,
up,
whoa! Are you
Rumpus.
talking about
You've got a
instantaneous
primary
motion?
school
It
level
took Rumpus no time at
of
all to
energy.
come in and insult people. It took him literally 2 minutes, not even, to come in and insult people.
Because he's telling you the energy of things, and he doesn't even know what
We're
energy
trying to have a
is.
conversation
Yeah, but
to
he's an
see whether
idiot.
disagreement.
He's
It doesn't
drivel.
matter whether he's an
It doesn't
idiot
matter
or
he's
you.
telling you
Excuse me,
drivel.
hold on. It doesn't matter whether he's an
telling you
idiot or
drivel.
you are not. He's allowed for him to have
Oh,
thoughts
yeah.
and
I
him
let
to
him
have
speak.
opinions.
I didn't stop him. I'm just
Well,
asked
you
him.
did,
I
and
know.
you're assaulting him.
No, I didn't stop him.
With your
No, I didn't
insults.
stop him. I asked him what the formula for the energy of an object, a moving object, is, and of course, he's absolutely no idea because he knows nothing about science.
He doesn't know
He's
your
gone.
trivial
That's it.
question.
There you go,
He doesn't know
Rumpus. Mark it on your time
question for some
card.
reason. He's stupid. He's an idiot. The fuck
I
kind
just
of
want to
logic is
point
that?
out, everyone who's arguing with Right the Hand at the moment, you're in Rumpus's camp. Just let that resonate.
That's messed up.
Listen, I was actually defending Right the Hand because even though I don't agree with him in a certain point, it doesn't mean he's an idiot and moron because we disagree. He's entitled to have his opinion.
No, Rumpus has got to get his time card mark. He's got to come in and do his shtick and disrupt things. So give him a minute or two. We know his little game.
Yeah, no, he got to punch in and get his 8 hours pay.
Yep.
Yeah, but who cares if he's going to come in and talk about motion? You got kinetic motion. You got 9.8 meters per second squared. Just he's got a chart of fucking equations sitting in front of him, trying to make somebody look stupid. There are so many different types of motion with the velocity. There's the instantaneous velocity. There's there's kinetic. There's dude. He's got a chart in front of him to make himself look smart. He's a fucking retard.
Well, yeah. So, he did the little trick, come in, ask for an equation rather than join the conversation, get to the heart of the issue that we're talking about.
The whole idea is we were trying to we were getting to reality with the object, its displacement, its motion, right? But a formula,
Right hand. Right hand. You were talking about in our heads, bro. I'm trying to make batteries and everything because I got a bunch of solar panels. But these batteries cost so much fucking money, dude, and they only last like a couple years. I'm trying to I got a ton of lead, dude, that I've melted down, and I'm trying to find out. It all started because I'm trying to make batteries and shit, and there's gajillions of different ways. That's the point I was at, dude. And I know Jimbo knows a lot about the subject. That's why I brought it on him. I don't think he was arguing with you, man. I think the contention was there before it even started, man. At least consider that fact, man. I don't think he meant things, man.
The point I'm trying to make is if you're trying to build a battery, right, you have to understand what electricity is, okay? Because if you don't know what you're trying to harness, then you're not going to be set up mechanically to harness it. Now, if you know you're trying to capture motion, right, so that because when you plug a battery, this little vehicle I have, it moves because I plug it in. So when it doesn't plugged in, it doesn't move. So clearly, whatever we're saying, it's motion. It makes things move. right? So there must be some sort of movement in this battery that gets transferred, right? So once you can figure, okay, now, so why does it deplete? Then you can, that's why I think they have this best battery technology. It's just, you know.
But isn't it just like a chemical? Isn't it just like a chemical thing? And also temperature, different chemicals along with different temperatures, it causes it to have energy, creating the motion.
Yeah, and there's so many different things, though, man. There's so much more.
Their way
to
is
it, I
bad,
think.
right? So they take these metals and then they put them in a solution, and there's a reaction, right? That reaction is the motion that they then transfer to the thing. But the motion is the metal pieces of the metal leaving, right? So the battery gets degraded. So now I'm sure there's a method of using something that moves, but then just goes back to where it started so that it can move again. Like how airplanes, I believe, don't use fuel, right? Because they're just transferring the motion from the air to the propeller to the thing to keep it going. It's just a big cycle.
No, it's not that. It's not that they don't use fuel. It's that they use less than we thought. That after they leave the ground, that they're already floating in the sky, they use a minimal amount of fuel to just push the thing forward because it's pretty much gliding kind of
I
thing.
don't think they use any. I think they use none. They use.
They have to. They have to because
no, they don't. Why do they have to? Because you said they do. Because you said they have to. They have to.
Dude.
That's
You
what
don't
you're
have
saying.
to. Listen. It doesn't have to be about me, about you. This is just a general You have to calm down, bro. You have to calm down. All right? We can't be arguing with all the.
You're the one telling me how it has to be. How do you know that?
Listen,
how do you know
like I said, I'm entitled to my opinion, though. Are you not entitled to yours?
Well, I don't say that my opinion has to be.
But it seems like everything has to be what you say, or everybody's just crazy and wrong.
All I'm saying is that a plane doesn't have to use fuel to move. It doesn't have to do that.
Do you know that for a fact? Do you fly planes? I don't even. It doesn't even matter if you fly planes. Do you build planes?
Okay, but here, hold on. We're talking. When you say what can and can't be, okay. So if you're gonna try and say that something can, it's like, yo, that's.
I want you to show me what scale this is that you use to derive the things that could be according to you and the things that can be according to you.
Look, if the whole thing is in reality, right? If something can't be, it can't be. So now you're saying that a plane can't use fuel, bro. That's
That's not what I said. From the beginning, I said I think because again, I don't build planes. I build motorcycles.
And I think
if you want to continue riding the motorcycle on the road.
Aaron, thanks for the super chat, man. Face one, appreciate it. And I had one more. Let me read it, and then we'll go back there and go back to the conversation. It's been a while. Taking Back Eden, $5. Keep up the great work, Randy, by teaching those stuck behind the curve. I hope the truth has been a true blessing. Indeed. Thank you very much. And another $5. Thanks for being generous with your time, Ranty. May God continue to bless you and your beautiful family always. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Same to you. All right, we'll go back.
The thing you're talking about a piston engine, and this is the fundamental difference in why all of these things use a turbine, just like a nuclear power plant. The internal combustion engine, the piston starts and stops. That creates a maximum RPM, whereas the turbine is just free spinning. Okay, so at a certain point, it's going to create more power than it's.
Do they create thrust? Yes or no? It's very simple. Do they both create thrust? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. They both have pedals. Do they both have pedals that when you press this pedal, it moves? Yes or no? It's very simple.
Yeah, they both have an accelerator.
Okay, so if you're in the floor and you don't touch that pedal, will the plane just fly from nowhere? Would it just fly?
No.
You have to hit the pedal, right? To get some momentum, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, you got to motion to start motion.
Of course. So what I'm saying is, from my logical conclusion, from every other experience that I have from motors and engines and things that move, right? What I think is when they're in the air, they get to the maximum high and they're just gliding down to their location. So maybe when they need a turn or whatever or deviate, they hit the thrust a couple of times, but it isn't like we used to think that they used to step on the fuel the whole time they're on the air and just blazing all that fuel. They're just literally tapping it a couple of times when they need to gain momentum. They tap it and they let it go, and the engine is just doing the thing, and the airplane is just gliding.
Okay, what if it's just like that, right? It's gliding, but then when they go to hit the quote unquote fuel, they're just giving a burst of compressed air.
Dude, that's what that's literally what I'm trying to explain to you.
Well, but I'm saying that would take no fuel.
Yeah. Hold on. That's what he's saying. Yeah, I agree. They just need a little bit of fuel to get moving, to take off. I agree with Matrix.
Fuel.
And right there.
No fuel whatsoever. It's just when that burst comes from, they have a tank with compressed air. So if they need
Could be.
they use the compressed
It doesn't matter what it is, what is chemical composition. What I'm trying to tell you is what they do. What they do. We used to think before that it used to be like a car that you have to press the gas for the car to move all the time, but it doesn't work that way.
I see a Matrix. I see what he's saying though. He's saying that because compressed air would be potential energy. So yeah, so it would be a fuel. It would just be a different form of fuel than what you're saying.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna be neutral and say I'm with you.
These that don't matter. I think he's trying to make it a little too technical. I'm not talking about the chemical composition of the engines. I'm talking about how the difference between and the motions. You know, and in my opinion, how they do it, how they're able to do it while they charging us a whole bunch of money, saying that because fuel is expensive and it's bullshit. They're not spending not even half of the money that they tell us.
That's a good point, and right then they had to compress air. They had to compress air to begin with somehow. So at some point they had to have some kind of electricity or fuel. Would you agree?
So when you land, you see they pick up that big hose, bro. That's a big airline. So what they're doing is filling a huge tank. They're not going to fill it at 2 seconds with this 1-inch hose. They're going to throw some air in there. They cap it off, and then now the compressed air is ready to start the engine and take the plane off. During that process, they refill the compressor. And now the compressor is full in case they need.
I need some of that air, bro. I need some of that air you got. I'm just joking. I'm with you. I'm with Matrix too, but that still counts as fuel. If they're putting something in there, they're I think y'all are arguing for dumb shit. Y'all are arguing.
I just don't think they need jet fuel. Like of course you need a fuel source, right? That's the it's getting
of course they don't. Maybe not jet fuel, whatever power they use, whatever chemical composition that they like to use. They don't. What I'm saying is that they don't use it as often as we think. Like in a car.
Hey, we get some reports that there's some buffering out there, and I'm seeing it a little bit back here. It looks like my internet is going up and down the connection speed. So I apologize if there is that. I'm going to keep it going for sure, since we've still got a good connection. But there may be some buffering, so I apologize for that.
I think that they're there to kind of like calm the masses, because I don't know how people will take it if they know that AI is actually flying them. But I don't really think pilots do much, man.
I think they're just there to monitor everything. Why do you really?
Yeah. Like I think they're there like if something goes wrong, maybe to take control of something. But I don't really think they do much.
Yeah, I think they're probably just along for the ride, right? It would be too risky to put all those planes in humans' hands.
All right. Okay. So we've got a video. I want to get to this before the end of the night. Travis, you still around? You still out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. Okay, let's go with that. Let's bring up your video. And here we go. That's not your video. Okay. These things are so annoying to open up from Discord. Why is this?
You can actually just mute it. I think that I forgot to process it with the volume lower, so it's going to be like full volumes. But you don't need the volume at all. I don't talk during. It's only 2 minutes. It's not that exciting of a video, but it does have some pretty cool ether band effects. But I just thought we could use it for a touch point if show needed some filler. When I was looking at it earlier today, I just had thought I would.
Yeah. Yeah, I bring this stuff anytime, man. I think we all like to look at these. I know I do. I'll just play it from the beginning then, Travis. I'm sharing in there. You guys should see it.
Yeah, so you could just pause it real quick. It's really bizarre because the image that you have is not the image that I've got on the video pad that I processed, but it's just.
Oh.
So if you look to the left of the house, okay.
Okay.
On the right, not the insert. The insert's there just to show you that that I've got a shore-to-shore line of observation. So if you're looking at the video footage with the house, and you can see the greater than sign that is the left side of the house there, that's a stairwell. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, got it. Yep.
So if you go into the middle of that greater than sign and then go to the right, you're going to be right on the first floor. Okay, right there, you're going to stand and open the door and walk into the house. Okay, so everything below your cursor, if you go over to the left insert,
yep,
you can see this. You can see the stairwell. You can see the first floor. You can see the ground level that's below that. So my point is that everything that is behind the lower part of that inferior mirage is physically there. It's land, right? Okay. But the thing that I was interested in discussing is if you go back to that greater than sign and you see two brown spots, one above and one below.
Where at again? Sorry.
If you go back to the greater than sign to the left of the, okay, right, yeah. So then go and then just yep, right there. Okay. So the top image is the physical image. The bottom image is the mirage. Okay. Now, when you push play, you will see both of them reach toward each other in the band. It's almost like a magnetic draw, right? They're pulling toward each other. They're trying to become one, so to speak. So what I was thinking was all this talk about refraction, light bending up, light bending down, okay? In this image, you're going to see a top image and a lower image move toward each other. And if we're going to talk about it this way, if it's vertical, one is going down and one is going up.
Okay.
But they're in the same medium at the same time. So it's not like you just have one effect, right? So light bends down and it travels over the curve and it's always bending down. Well, you've got at least two different directions in this observation. And it just struck me as something interesting. So if you want to push play, you can watch the dance of the image as it pulls toward each other.
Okay. We're looking at this area right here, these two brown areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this sped up, Travis?
No. No, it's normal speed.
Is that supposed to be the same house, Travis?
What do you mean?
Is that the same place?
As you have a still image in that. I'm trying to understand what your question is, Matrix. So there's two images of the house in the video that you're watching. One is a still image, and one is the one that's video. Yes, they're both the same house.
Okay. So one is a result of you zooming into the house.
Well, I don't really want to get distracted with that. My point is that in the video, you have that image to the left of the house, which is the top image, and you can see it stretching, like right there. It's stretching down to touch, almost become one image.
You can see them touching each other.
Yeah.
I should mention here that the people viewing on YouTube may not be seeing the same quality image we are back here. On my YouTube, I have for maximum res, and it's very grainy on YouTube. You can't see the effect.
Yeah, it does look like shit. It looks like shit.
Shit. All right. I was afraid of that. So they might not even know what we're talking about.
I put it in 1080, but
it might be what I'm sending out, just the frame rate that's sending out right now.
1080 at all.
Yeah.
It's like even 720 or less or whatever. It's
Much
really
better.
grainy.
Whatever you did, much better.
It's better now. Okay.
Hey, Brandon, do you have access to email?
To what, Brian?
To Ranty Flat Earth email?
No, I don't. Nope.
Okay. Well, hey, Travis, if you could hear me, I just sent like a 51-second video of the sun that I think is pretty fucking cool. If you get a minute, see if there's a way you could post it, because I got no way of doing it. But I sent it to.
I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone, Brian. Is there any way you can just post the link in the Discord chat for Brandon?
How do you? I've never ever been able to post a link ever, because I'm always on my phone.
You should just be able to copy the hyperlink, go to general, and then paste it in the message box. But let me ask you a question about this, Travis. So just for the audience, I'm going to describe what was going on in the video, since it's coming through really choppy. There's these two brown areas to the left of the house. It's like the dirt under these trees right here or something. And as it goes through the video, these are the images. The bottom one, which is the mirage brown area, the reflection, is dancing up towards the top one, and the top one is dancing down towards the bottom one. When I mean dancing, they're like touching each other a little bit, up and down, waving back and forth. So what do you think is going on here, Travis?
Well, my thing is to ultimately challenge and debunk the whole light bending down bullshit. That we can't ever see light bending down as we're looking over and seeing this object here. We just simply see what's happening with our eye. So the question, though, that is that if someone does say that the light is bending down, okay, what does that mean in this image when we see part of the image going up toward the top image and the top image coming down? They're both going towards each other. And I just think that it's an interesting nugget, I guess, to combat the whole paradigm that we are fighting against in this whole refraction discussion, that these objects, like the way I'm going to say it is a bit simplistic, but I have heard ballers claim that if I'm making an observation over the Chesapeake, so to speak, and there is a limit to what I can see, if I were at a different elevation, I would see with more clarity. but that doesn't mean that above my head, 10 feet above my head, that image is traveling over my head, because light travels to our eye in their world, right? So part of what my contention is that no, light is not traveling to my eye carrying these photons of information where I can finally get my eye to put them back together and I can see the house. Rather, I'm looking through a medium that is distorting and dancing in the distance. And so I'm looking through that, no different than if I were to hold up a rose-colored glass in front of my eye and look through it, right? The medium is what is distorting the image.
So this kind of, doesn't this kind of imply that the ether band or whatever is presenting an image to
you? Broke up, Lemon, but I think I heard enough. I would say yes.
And that would be that we could prove that too, kind of, man. Like if you, it wouldn't be that hard to prove if we. I mean, one of a couple different ways. Say if we were to like put. I mean, I don't know. Just for ease of conversation, if you were to take like let's say let's say I think somebody else is trying to talk. Let me get my story straight and I'll join.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, so in other words, if the light was coming in at a higher angle, then you could take like a marker, say a freaking, what do you call the things that, a buoy? Let's say a buoy like 5 miles away, and then you were to put something above it, just like parallel with it, just barely above it, but like 200 yards closer to you. So if the buoy is 5 miles away, and then you have like just a piece of cardboard, even at least big enough to block the buoy, but raise it above the buoy, where say the buoy stretches 5 foot off the water, right? And you start the piece of cardboard like 6 foot off the water. I mean, you see where I'm getting at? In other words, if the light was coming from a higher angle,
Yeah, I get you.
and we could expand on that because there's 100 different ways we could go with that idea, right?
I think you're trying to say that an air layer could basically lift the image of the boat over the obstruction. So the key difference between, I guess, what we think of light doing as a string traveling from point A to point B and basically, pinging around like a ping pong ball versus the air layer presenting to you an image of what is seen, and various air layers possibly presenting, multiple images, perhaps with different ether.
Yeah, almost like doing a version of Jaren's experiment without the getting pinned down to proven flat or globe. We could just prove the angle that the light's coming in. Shout out to Jarenism, but like just maybe even make a few just floating buoys, just of cheap ass cardboard and styrofoam with holes in them. Big holes just to see what we could see through them and just see different things and what angles the light are coming in, because no one observation would prove anything, but I think we could get a compilation and maybe come to some conclusions, possibly, right?
Sounds like an interesting experiment.
Yeah, like instead of firing a laser through it, let's just we can set up a stream of just 3 big ass holes, just 3 big cardboard like the size of a sheet of plywood, and just make a big hole in the middle of it, like about 100 yards in front of us, and then maybe a half a mile out, set one, and then a mile out, set another one where you're looking straight through them holes, and then just bury them off in different distances at different observations, different numbers of them. Anyway, it's just a cheap ass way of looking through some big ass holes.
Interesting. Had a couple of chats come in. One from Face One, Aaron. For $50. Thanks, Aaron. With a little support, these streams can't die. Thanks, Ranty, Brandon, and the panel. And Dank donated $10. How does an alchemist please his wife? Elixir. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, these.
That's a good one.
Yeah, these get read in the live stream, but you guys can't hear them. And then Bandsaw Bandit, thank
That's
you for the
awesome.
666.
Hey, why does Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella?
Why?
For drizzle.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's rough, Brian.
Hey, how about?
Why can't Stevie?
I could read. Hey. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Why can't Stevie Wonder read?
Why?
Because he's black.
That's a good one. Hey, and while we're on the subject, man, I heard them doing a show. What do you call the things that you read backwards and forwards and you get the same thing?
Anagram.
Yeah, anagram.
Anagram.
Yeah. How about, dude? How about this one, man? I heard Jaron and Glowbuster do a whole show on them, but I never heard this one. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Once again, a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. I don't even know where I got that shit from, dude, but it's somehow in my head, I think from a long time ago, but that's spelled backwards. That's a cool one right there, man, that I never heard.
A man, a plan, a canal.
I got to jump
Yep.
in. You guys are wrong. It's a palindrome. That's what that is.
Yeah, palindrome. Yeah, a man, a plan, a canal, Panama.
Oh.
So what's an anagram?
Coincidence? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
Travis, what's an
pretty weird.
anagram?
Oh, go ahead. All right, the hand. Sorry.
What?
No, I just want to know what an anagram is then.
An anagram is radar or tenant. It's spelled.
Read the same. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's read the same. Yeah, write it down. Write it down. Write down a man. If you write down a man, a plan, a canal, Panama, it reads the exact same backwards. So whatever you call that.
Yeah, I just typed it in Google just to show the audience, and it sure does. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, so it is a big long anagram.
Yeah.
Exactly. A palindrome is a type of an anagram. Yep.
Huh.
Did you know Neil Armstrong, right? Reverse it and it becomes a Neil, which is alien. Or like his however you do it, like it comes to alien. His name backwards. Yeah, it's backwards. You gotta do it backwards. It's alien.
Huh.
Neil A.
Dude, that reminds me, I was on the stream with them, dude. They believe anything, dude. I just throwing shit out there, and what the SpaceX stream, it cuts to a feed that says, what's it say, like when the feed cuts, there's something pops up on the screen. It says,
We still love
like,
you.
yeah, we still love you. And I was on Jose's stream, and I was debating with Carlos, and I said, man, look, and you think it's a coincidence that if you say we still love you, that's what comes up on the screen. You say it backwards. It says y'all are duped. I forgot what I said.
That's the name of the platform, Brian. Something.
Yeah, exactly. What I told Carlos during the argument, I think I said, man, you think it's a coincidence that if you say if you record we still love you backwards, it means we are liars. And he's like, well, that's a coincidence and shit. Before I even had a chance to laugh and say, dude, I'm just bullshitting, dude. It's like he just believed it, man. And I was like, damn, dude, y'all believe anything. It's on the one on Jose's probably about half a year back on a little one-on-one.
Mode, Brian. Auto make fun mode.
What's that?
Auto make fun mode. In other words, whatever you say, they're not listening. They're just waiting for you to finish the sentence to make fun of you.
Yeah, dude, but I had him laughing during they lined me up to do a few debates, and Carlos was talking about was it clear? He was talking about the launch, and is it clear? I said, yeah, it's cartoon clear, Carlos. Like that, and dude, he's laughed so hard, dude. It was funny. He almost had to quit the debate, dude. We were both laughing, and then I go on a one-on-one debate with Lael, which is a joke, dude. I took it a little easy on him. And I'm sitting there debating. He's talking about curvature in the distance. So I said, look, if the ground, the way Jesse and them describe it, drops in the distance, then a SR-71 Blackbird would also have to drop in the distance. Okay, if the ground is dropping, that plane is going to have to drop with it to maintain altitude. And then he does his whole debate on and I've never rubbed it in, but I kind of am now. He did his whole debate on the fact that it goes so fast, radar couldn't see it. He starts trying to do math, and he says, that it went across the USSR and no radar could even pick it up. He said that it crosses the United States in like 21 seconds. And I'm laughing. I'm like, dude, he's saying how fast it crosses Europe, and he's sitting there thinking that instead of miles an hour, it's miles per second. And he finally is at the end of the debate. He's like, oh man, no, my bad. I was thinking about miles per second. And so then he had to quit the debate. And every now and then they throw me in with one-on-one debates with people, man. But one-on-one over there, they ain't got a prayer, dude. Even if it is a globe, I'm gonna kill them in a debate, dude. Them over there, man, one way or another. But it's funny, man. I'm gonna dig some of these things up, make some videos, little short videos to get my channel going a little bit, because it's funny, man. They're attacking us, man. Say we fire back while we still have a voice, because that seems to be the only thing they have is censorship and ridicule. To me, I love the debate. If I wind up being wrong, who cares? I'm wrong, man. I still think there's things we've exposed that need to be brought to attention. I would like, this is the only way we're going to get disclosure. And why are people arguing with us about the deception we see, when all it's going to do is stop us from getting disclosure on what's going on? What is it? Everything's any damn secret is some kind of deception, or otherwise it wouldn't be a big damn secret. Go ahead.
Yeah, good point. We've had a few people join the. Oh, by the way, Brian, if you do put a video together and you wanna get a little exposure for your channel, feel free to bring it in here, man. We'll watch it and plug your channel. But
hey, just real quick, I want to make a correction. The palindrome goes for words or phrases or sentences. The anagram is what happens when you take a name and you mix up the letters to get another name, like Jim Morrison, Mr. Mojo Risen.
Yeah.
That's the anagram. So
it was a palindrome read backwards, not an anagram mixed up.
Right.
Okay. Aaron Armstrong, $5 super chat. Ranty, can you please do a poll of your panel on who thinks planes run on compressed air? I want to run through everybody here, but
who don't think they run on compressed air? I would agree they would need some fuel to get off the ground, whether it be compressed air that they feed it, or that they had from a previous flight. They're going to need something. But yeah, who wouldn't agree that? I mean, the technology we have, we all know that that there's not 50. We all know there's not 56 Camaros stacked worth of weight on each wing. What kind of fucking retard would think that?
yeah, I don't think that they work how they told us. I don't know if it's compressed air or some other mechanism, but it's definitely not exactly what they tell us. All right. And then what was I going to say? Oh shit! Now I've just lost my train of thought completely.
We had some people join the stream.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Bandsaw Bandit join. What's up, Bandsaw? We had Chad join. Left lane. I thought I saw, there he is, Con with George. What's up, George? Oh, he's deafened. Lemon we heard, and I think that's about it. I guess George doesn't want to talk. What's going on, George? And Howard, how you doing? I see you dropping in and out. You got audio? No? What the heck? All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hey, Rob.
I got a new microphone.
It sounds a little better.
Okay. When I remember what I was going to say, I will get back to you.
Yeah, it's one of those nights. For sure. Cool. All right. Well, I was hoping George or Howard had something that they wanted that they came in to say.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I remember now. Yeah, I remember now.
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
Okay. The jet engine's working on compressed air. Does he even know how a jet engine works? Because they mix air and fuel. So yeah, they work on compressed air. Compressed in the jet engine. I don't know if he's ever seen how a jet engine works.
Yeah, right, Rob. They even had the audacity to name it. They even had the audacity to name it compressed air technology.
Say anything. I can't hear the audio on Discord. I have to listen on the YouTube live stream.
Oh, really? What's up with that? You can't hear me talking right now?
I can hardly hear you on Discord, Brandon. I don't know what's going on. I've tried restarting. I've tried adjusting my audio levels and that, but something weird is happening. I can barely hear anybody on Discord.
Okay.
Can you hear me, George?
I can. All the audio is soft. Yes, I can hear you if I strain my hearing. The audio that I'm getting on Discord has got to be at least 25, 30 dB lower than what I'm hearing on the YouTube stream.
Well,
That's probably because George.
You must have it turned down in your settings or something.
He's got his phone
No,
backwards.
George, grab your ear. George, grab an ear horn. I just play.
George, did you come in to mention for a particular reason tonight, or just coming in to hang out?
Ear horn, nut horn.
No, I have nothing to contribute on your discussion. I'm not into this refraction and things disappearing from the bottom. Everybody looks at it wrong. Oh, hang on, I gotta catch my phone.
Okay.
We should.
George still.
Damn, is that an old school phone, George?
That's what I was thinking.
Jesus.
So what's this say here? A jet engine uses fuel to add energy to air that it has compressed at the intake. That's a good call, Rob. You're right.
Yeah, they even had the audacity to name it compressed air technology. How about that?
That's hilarious. So, Aaron, do you think that jet engines use compressed air?
Yeah, they don't use compressed air. The front blades actually compress the air into the combustion chamber.
And then they do what with the compressed air after they compress it?
It lights and blows out the back.
Wait a minute. What? Can you explain that again?
Well,
you said the propeller sucks in the compressed air, but what gets the propeller spinning?
The combustion in the combustion chamber.
It's a turbine. It's not a propeller.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's a turbine. It's a big fan.
So initially, when they start, when the engines start or whatever, how do they start then?
They rotate it. I think usually with like an electric motor, and then they have to ignite it with an electrical, like a spark, to get the ignition going.
Yeah, and there's a series of turbines, and they also have beyond that they have a series of cavities which make little explosions, which assist in. It's an incredible technology, man. So, I don't know a lot about it, but what I've heard, I was mesmerized.
Well, guys, it looks like this isn't too much of a secret. Here's an answer on what is this? Stack Exchange Aviation Forum. And it says a typical modern turbofan engine produces about 85% of its thrust from bypass flow, i.e., compressed air that never goes through the actual jet core. So they literally do run on compressed air.
Right. It's not like the World War II propeller planes that carry all them bombs. And I had a friend. He's still alive, man. He's just hitting 90 and in incredibly good shape. But he flew one of them bombers, man. I need to talk to him before he dies. But yeah, they were something else. They were huge and they ran on propellers. And yeah, so this compressed air technology basically is probably a couple hundred times more efficient than them prop giant planes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Well, this sounds like it's not even a, what is the conspiracy theory then? That they don't carry that much fuel, right? That they don't have the 83 Camaros worth of fuel or however many tons in each wing.
That's why I like Penn and George down. When we get math on our side, they can't argue the math. When they throw out the fuel that it would take, the weight of the fuel per wings, they can't. The specs can't argue that. They have to come out with the truth. And it's no longer conspiracy. That's why the math is important, whether it's reality or not, whether it's electrons flowing through our batteries with energy, whether it's photons through the light. If we could pin them down with the math, that's why I support Jimbo, FED, Flat Earth Data. I support them with the math because when you get them with the math, then it's no longer a conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
What are you talking about with the math?
The math, Howard. The math. Like you can't say that there's 56 Camaros on each wing. That doesn't hold to the specifications. So you do the math. Yeah. So you.
I don't know how all of that works out, but I have flown in like turboprop planes. And one of my customers, I used to fly with him all the time. And that engine.
We're talking about jet planes, not turboprops.
Right. We're not talking about private jets.
Turboprops.
You think they're gonna sell the public? You think they're gonna sell the public compressed air technology like they have? Anyway, they used to claim that there was the weight of 56 Camaros on each wing, okay, and of fuel, and that was mathematically debunked. And now it changed to it's 85% sufficient.
I don't know about all that. It just makes sense. You put fuel in it, and the engines run the entire time you're flying, and they consume fuel.
Yeah, and the correct answer would be. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to make fun of Howard. The point. Listen, you're missing the point, Howard. You're missing the point.
But that is the right answer. But he's supposed to say, I don't know. What are you talking about? 56 Camaros worth of weight. He's supposed to act completely. He's supposed to not even have ever even heard of that shit.
Have you heard that
would be the
Camaro
correct
thing
answer.
before, Howard? Have you heard of that?
I've never checked into all that because the entire idea to me seems so absurd. It just never got my interest. They have big fuel tanks. They put fuel in them and they fly and they run their engines the entire time they're flying.
What's absurd about it, though? I don't think it's absurd at all.
But what propels the plane if they're not burning fuel?
Have you not listened to anything?
They are burning fuel, Howard.
Have you not listened to anything yet?
They are burning fuel. Like 1% fuel to 99% air. Like, think about it.
Oh, you're talking about the
Open a book.
turbofan, the fan jets, the fan
Open a
jet.
book, man.
You don't have to insult me.
No, we're talking
Yeah,
about.
I even borderline. I did apologize if I insulted because I was just being a smartass. But yeah, it's compressed air technology, man. They can't suppress that shit forever, Jimbo, man. Come on, we can back off on insulting him, but at least it'd be like, yeah, man. That is a stretch. 112 Camaros. The plane's got 56 Camaros on each wing. That's a bit much, you know. We didn't buy that, and you know, sometimes common sense does work. Very, very seldom, but
That
not
might-
trying to sound like a smartass, Howard.
That might not be too off the mark, though, Brian. Is a 747 burns about a gallon of fuel every second, and it holds about its fuel capacity is around 60,000 gallons.
Yeah, come on.
And
wait,
if you
well,
figure aviation fuel runs about
60,000.
That makes you a
60,
sucker.
60.
The Formula Ones are supposed to hold 50
George is just
gallons
a
of fuel. I doubt if they hold 12 liters. Where do
You ever
50
see a plane get
gallon tank in a
destroyed?
Formula One. It's the
You ever
same
see a
turbo
plane
technology
apart?
as jet airplanes. It's just on the ground.
It's like a tin can. There's
The
nothing in it.
specification
It's
for
all
747
insulation.
is about 60,000 gallons of fuel when fully loaded.
Yeah, just because they say that doesn't mean it's the
And
truth.
aviation fuel is about 7 pounds a gallon, so you'd figure that's close to 500,000 pounds of fuel that it's carrying.
And where do they keep those? Where do they
Off of half a
where do they
million
keep-
pounds.
Where do they keep the fuel, George?
In the wings.
George, I
Okay,
pour
George,
concrete, okay?
Listen
And
to what you're
my buddy pumped it.
Hold on, Brian.
My
Hold
buddy
on,
pumped the
Brian.
concrete. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. George, listen to what you're saying. Okay. The next time you go on a jet airliner, I want you to watch the mechanisms of the wing as it's taking off and landing. I want you to look into where you can see what you can see. And I want you to think that there's 30,000 gallons of fuel in that tiny, slender wing, along with
It's
all of
not
the
all-
other mechanics, along
the
with all
wing
the other
holds
mechanics and wires.
The wings hold most of the fuel, but there's also in the fuselage some tanks.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, when I asked my two pilots where the fuel was stored, they told me the wings. They didn't say anything about a fuselage. So, but don't miss my point. You're misdirecting. My point, George, is think about what you're saying, and the next time look at the wing and just squint, man. Go ahead, Brian.
I don't get your point.
I was going to say that, my buddy pumped a couple runways. He actually did the NASA runway. He was just straight pumping.
Your
And
average
and
average fuel delivery truck, going down the road that feeds underground tanks for all your gas stations and stuff. It's about 11,000 gallons. That big old tanker. George says a 747 holds 6 of those.
Yeah, it's a lot of them.
In the wings. In the wings. In the fucking wings.
Measure them.
How do you
Calculate the
put,
volume.
bro? Measure them.
Six of them. 6 tanks.
You can't look at a fucking tanker truck and be like, "There's no way that's getting in a wing of a plane." You need to measure that. You can't eyeball that measurement. Come on, bro. Come on.
Well, I've got a picture I'm just going to share on screen here. This is from Clues Forum. They've got quite a bit of good stuff out here on this one. All right.
Look at guys.
This is
Hey,
an
Brian,
underground storage
look at
tank
that
for
thing.
20,000 liters.
Come on. That's in the
Short
wings, right?
of what the
Here,
Airbus
just go-
carries.
Brandon,
Yeah.
go through the numbers. 60,000 gallons. A
Yep.
cubic foot is roughly 64 gallons in a cubic foot. So 60,000 divided by 64 gives you a little bit less than 1,000 cubic feet. That's 10
Just
feet
look at the
by
picture.
10 feet
60
by 10 feet.
gallons.
Look at that tanker.
That's bigger than
You
the
don't
whole
need to do
freaking
any
plane,
math.
Wait,
man.
stop.
Cubic
Wait,
look at it.
stop. Hold on, stop. George, what? How many cubic feet again? 1,000?
About 1,000 cubic.
Okay.
No,
George,
no. Yeah, about 1,000 cubic feet. That's 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot.
Okay, George, is an airplane wing 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot? Is an airplane wing
Does the airplane wing
Look at
have a
the wing.
Wait,
Look at
hold on.
the
Let me just
surface
finish. I
area
got
of the
one.
wing.
I just have
All
one
you
more
have
question.
to do is have
Hold on,
the
hold
volume
on.
of
I
of
just have
1,000
one
cubic
more,
feet.
just one quick question, George. When you look at that airplane wing, does it have the volume capacity of 1,000
That's what I'm
square
saying. Look
feet?
at the wing. Look at the surface area of the wing and the thickness of the wing, and
George, if you compress the 10-foot height down to 1 foot, you just made the wing 100 foot wide and 100 foot long. But besides that, George, how much runway do you think the tires of an airplane are hitting? Okay, you said a million.
Brian, you
Hold
got
on.
the number 100 foot wide. 100 foot wide by 100 foot long is 10,000. That would be 10,000. That's 10 times more than the
No, you said
George, let's just do this.
You said
Let's just do this.
60,000 gallons of fuel.
Hold on. How much? How many tires? Hold on.
If the wing is 1 foot in thickness, and you're looking at
No, the gas tank inside the wing. But besides that, that's not my argument. That's not my
There's no
argument.
structure inside a wing. You know, there's nothing else taking up space, right? You know,
My argument is how many tires are on one of them planes? How many tires?
I don't know, but I mean, there's some stuff in here that makes you think. I mean, George, you got to at least admit that, you know, it makes you wonder where all this fuel is when you look at this tanker and say this is 20,000 liters short of what's supposed to be in the Airbus. Hold on.
Look at that only in the wing, Brandon.
No, I understand your argument.
In the
You're looking at the
fuselage.
wing.
George, a
Brandon
lot of
has
us have been
posted
to
on Discord.
international airports, and I don't see six
Okay, this
fully loaded
applies to
semis
mathematics. I
going up
know
to
you
fuel
guys
747.
are
I just
math
don't see it, George. I don't
challenged,
see it.
but you just apply a little common sense and some mathematics, and you'll see that it's entirely doable.
That's what we're applying,
George,
and we're
have you
saying
extended
this
wing
sounds
upon landing,
ridiculous.
George? Have you seen
No,
an extended wing
you
upon
say
landing?
we're mathematically challenged.
You
If
can
you
see right
watch
through
your,
it. There's
if
no
you watch your
cranking
stream,
where the
George.
gas toward.
Well, say
When I
that again,
discussed the inverse
Essie.
square,
Say that
All
again,
you have
Essie.
to do is have the volume of the equivalent of 937
But you
cubic.
don't. The problem is you don't.
You
You don't
can
have.
spread that out in two
Super.
wings plus a large tank in the fuselage.
Bro,
Very
George is
doable.
so full. He's his ego. He'll never admit he's wrong. They'll tell him they fit.
Well,
Look at how much. They'll say it's a whole Olympic pool in the plane. He'll be like, yeah, they get it. Even though you could put a plane in an Olympic pool.
What's the surface area of a one of the wings of a 747?
I do not know.
Bro, you think there's nothing inside the wing?
Well, then why do you make these claims if you haven't even gone through the basic math?
Because you can look at it and see. You can look at the wing and see it's a tenth of the size of that
Well,
tanker.
the surface area isn't that crucial. There's all kinds of hydraulics, flaps, other stuff. And there's no lining in those wings. You see people crawling in the wings and through those holes, and there's no fumes, no residues.
Well, the jet
wonder
fuel.
why.
Well, the jet fuel conspiracy is appealing because it talks about technology advancing to the point that they don't need that gas and they don't need to be charging people out the nose anymore with more efficient, airplane designs that go off of very little gas.
Also weigh
Nobody's saying there's no fuel, but is there enough
would also
fuel?
weigh approximately 10 pounds per gallon minimum.
Okay.
Go ahead, George.
We're talking a swimming pool for an Olympic pool.
Oh,
Go ahead, George.
Come on, Jimbo, you're so full of shit all the time.
Yeah, right. That's good math.
Aviation fuel floats on water. Water is 8 pounds per gallon, roughly.
it's still 7 pounds. 7 pounds per gallon. It still
About
doesn't add
7
up.
pounds per gallon.
When you look at the concrete on the runway, bro, the tires they're off by a factor, bro. The strongest concrete they could get on them runways is about 8,000 pounds per square inch, bro. You just said, hold on.
The surface area of the wings of a 747 is 5,500 square feet.
I'm talking about the tires that are touching the concrete. If the concrete is if it's lucky and it's 8,000 pounds per square inch, which is probably a stretch, okay, how many tires do you think you have to hold all them millions of pounds? Okay, you're saying just the fuel's over 1 million pounds. You're not even talking about the plane itself.
No.
You said 1 million pounds.
The surface area, you have to subtract all of the
Again, you're pulling
hydraulics,
shit
weight,
out of your
flaps,
ass,
and
Brian.
etc. So you want to take the surface area and say,
Fuel is
wow,
not a million pounds,
Oh,
Brian.
you
Figure it
And
out.
Brian also
You're just
at the
full of shit with
touchdown
it,
area,
George.
they do pour the concrete roughly 3 foot thick. Just so you know, just throwing it out there.
Esteban
I'm aware of all
Ilbaca,
that.
2500 CLP. Incredulity much? You can look into the schematics for the wings and check its capacity and that it works. Arguing against this is amazingly dumb. Thanks,
Well,
Esteban.
the thing is, this is a very powerful conspiracy woo. So you normie blue pillars need some pretty inconvenient facts to fight against it.
110 tons in each wing.
No, you guys have no facts.
I
You
just
don't apply
fact-checked,
logic or
George.
mathematics to the size of the plane. You have no
George.
idea what you're talking about.
George, they
I just
World
fact
War
checked
II
you,
planes.
and yes,
Okay.
You're right, George. It's about 63 to 67,000 gallons in a 747, right? I was like, wow, that sounds like a lot. I fact checked you. That's what the internet says. So
Yeah,
that
I just
means,
looked it up.
That
Here.
means that
Boeing's biggest
6 tanker
747
trucks,
fly with
6
empty
tanker
tail.
trucks
It
are
says
gonna
here,
have
all
to
right.
show up every
I
time
was pretty close. I said
a
about
747
60,000
lands.
gallons.
I've
They
never
say
seen a tanker
63,000,
truck.
55
I've never
gallons
seen
of
a
jet
tanker
fuel
truck,
can be
an
in the
18-wheeler.
intercontinental
I've
747.
never seen even one 18-wheeler pull up to fuel up an airplane in an international airport with your Airbus 380s, your
Why don't you
747s,
guys just do a
your
little search
787s,
on
all
the
that stuff, right?
internet and
Now
find
you're
the
talking about, but
specifications for
why
a
don't you just believe
747?
what
You
you're
keep
reading?
talking
5
about
more.
how
I've
great
never seen
researchers
one.
you guys
And you
are,
want
but
5
you never ever
more,
look this
right?
stuff up.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to skip final thoughts tonight. It's about 5-2. I appreciate everybody coming into the show. Good chat. Thanks for supporting the channel as well. Those who supported, really appreciate it. And I am going to record the rest of this. It's too bad that it's lagging so much tonight. I don't know what the hell's going on. But I'll post it on my channel, Brandon Toy, on YouTube sometime tonight or tomorrow morning. So be looking for that out there. And we will see you back here tomorrow at 5:05 Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again, everybody.